Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Round, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And this is now episode 427. In this episode, we're going to give our NFL Week 11 picks, talk about the NBA most improved player candidates. A lot of players across the NBA that are playing really well, especially younger players, and Norman Powell, who's like 30 and then averaging like 25. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about on the show. How are you guys feeling?
I'm doing pretty great. You know, excited to talk a little basketball. Excited to go through my picks. Like I mentioned in the last episode, I'm only one pick behind Mr. Dehls. Now I've officially surpassed Mr. Tortorelli because that guy decided to play with his heart instead of his mind with the Commanders over Philly. You know, I really like the Commanders. You know, I respect them as a football team, what they've been building. But the Philadelphia Eagles were at home. They've been playing a different brand of football. I'll take that spot over Johnny. And now this week, God willing, I'll surpass him and I'll be at the top by myself. It's been a minute since I've been there. But we'll see where it goes and where it takes me. But, you know, excited to talk a little ball.
First day of the NBA Cup a couple of days ago as well. Celtics lost a heartbreaker, man. It was a heartbreaker. I know you guys probably weren't as tuned in. But shout out to Jalen Johnson. Shout out to Dyson Daniels. Hawks beat us without Trae Young. I was talking to, who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody. Maybe it was you, Drew. I was saying, or maybe it was you, Riv. I said, thank God we won the championship last year. I think it was you. Yes. Because if this was last year and you lose a game like that, like remember we lost to the Lakers, right? Without LeBron and AD. Oh my God, the season's over. This team's not doing anything. But then you get that chip and it's like, well, none of this really matters. They're going to win 60 games and be the 1 or 2 seed in the East. But yeah, that was a really good game. We're talking about some of those guys on the Hawks. They're playing some good basketball. Warriors beat Dallas, man.
Yo, what's up with Dallas, dude?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck right now. Steph had a masterclass. Completely outperformed Luka. Showed him like I'm still a big dog. It is still one of them ones. We had a fun playback. That one was dope for sure.
That video of you when Curry hit that 3 was hilarious.
Yeah, dude. He's playing like shit for a little bit. I was like, like it might be an L.
He was playing like ass.
Yeah, then he woke up. Dre missed a layup like prior to that, bro. It was just getting dark. But then they woke up and they was like, fuck it, let's win this game. But happy to be here, man. I'm excited to talk some football. My boys.
That's tough, by the way. Where'd you get that?
Shout out to Chelsea.
Oh.
Shout out to Chelsea. She's a good person. You know, works a good job.
Thought I got that for you.
She was at the Philly game and decided to give me this. You know,
that's so sweet of her, man.
Shout out to Chelsea.
That's mad
good
considerate.
Mad considerate, good person. She knows I'm an Eagles fan.
Facts.
So she knows I'm a ride or die. Like,
no doubt.
I never waver from my brothers. You know, even the guy who I've been called the hater of, the quarterback, I haven't wavered from him all year. Some people have, but that's why I got this. You know
We're just lying now.
Huh? What?
Okay.
Now, Des, I got a question.
I'm not entertaining this.
You did.
When Chelsea went to the Eagles game,
I don't understand what he's doing.
Did she get this and say, here, this could be for Riv, or did you say, yo, get that for Riv?
This is exactly what happened.
I'm actually curious.
This is exactly what happened. Chelsea came home today. She put everything down. A while had passed, like probably an hour since she got home. She starts unpacking. She's like, oh, I got this American flag Philadelphia Eagles thing. She's like, do you want it? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I was like, nah, I don't think I really want it. And I was like, you know what? We have the podcast today. Let me give this to Riv. She's like, oh, yeah, sure. That's a good idea. So I grabbed it, brought it in the car, gave it to Riv, said, here you go, my brother. And now he's turning his back on me.
That's a good story, bro.
I think they should remove Dehls of the racist allegations now, don't you think?
Racist?
Oh, brother, he can't beat those. But what he can beat is the Eagles allegation. We're thinking about it.
Can he beat those? I'll be honest. I think it was signed and sealed. And this is kind of me, you know, I'm not full Mr. Eagles, but I've never slandered them, not even a little bit. After he said the Bengals are just better than them.
That one hurt. And we still holding on to that. We'll see how these, because he's been trying to push Jalen Hurts MVP.
That one stung me.
So since he's been doing that, we'll see how
Riz, this is the thing. You know, I've never been an Eagles fan. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan.
But in order to be a Jalen Hurts fan, this one, Joel told me about Brock Purdy one time. He was like, you root for Brock Purdy? I was like, of course, my brother in Christ. He was like, well, then indirectly, you're going to be rooting for the Niners because their quarterbacks. Winning is very important in quarterback stats, right? So if you root for Jalen Hurts, indirectly, you should be rooting for everybody else.
And this is where he's busted. And you had to know you were getting
You didn't agree to those terms, though.
Nope, but now I am.
Wow. Convenient.
Yeah. I respect it.
So you're a 49ers fan?
Yeah, we're here.
The thing is, Jalen, like Brock Purdy leaves the Niners. Are you a Niners fan? No, you're going with Brock. That's how I feel about Jalen Hurts.
I don't really care. Like, okay. if Lamar leaves Baltimore, you're gone.
Easily.
But you're a
In
Baltimore
heartbeat.
fan. We got him.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. He had to know I was gonna
Well,
out
the
him.
thing, there's a difference. There's
He's trying to
difference.
talk over
There's
because
a
he knows
difference.
he's
There's
caught.
a difference. There's a
He
difference.
straight up said,
Needs context.
"I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan."
I was first of all trolling because we got a group chat with 2 Steelers fans, so I'm in there trolling like, "Oh, we're about to smoke you guys."
Right.
Whatever. The context needed is that I root for the Ravens more because Lamar needs to win in the playoffs. Lamar needs to win the playoffs.
Right.
Any of the individual stuff doesn't matter until he wins in the playoffs. That's why I need them to win.
You've also said in the show, I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan.
Root for Lamar. I don't know what else to do.
I respect it though.
I wanted to test Dehls' loyalty on this podcast. So I got something special just cooked up for Dehls.
Nice.
It's specifically cooked up for Dehls. If you guys want to chime in and you want to answer, then that's fine as well. But this is really for Dehls
Let's hear it.
and just testing where he's at. Because he posted a tweet that I didn't agree with, honestly. And I just wanted to test his knowledge. So this is a Would You Rather Jalen Hurts edition. Dehls, your answer in this. You're the Jalen Hurts guy on the podcast.
Allegedly.
Riv and Drew, you can feel free to answer these as well.
You should answer because this is also your guy. You
do
might be
love
taking
him.
the mantle.
I love him.
First name up, Brock Purdy.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
You were not even thinking about this.
Nah.
Jalen Hurts.
It's not a conversation.
Brock is good. I think Jalen Hurts is better. I think his
great. Let's add
mobility,
that.
his creativity.
But without getting too analytical, he is Jalen Hurts. That's really all you have to say. He's Jalen Hurts.
Baker Mayfield.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Baker's been turning the ball over.
You just said Baker was a franchise quarterback not too long ago.
Definitely did.
So why are you
is Jalen
saying?
Hurts.
So why are you saying? What are we
There's
doing
levels
here?
to franchise
He
quarterbacks.
also thinks that too.
Geno Smith's the franchise quarterback. So is Patrick Mahomes.
He cooked. He's cooked.
You know what I mean?
He just cooked.
So it's not close between Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts in your opinion.
No.
I would take Hurts pretty easily.
C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
We know who's the real Hurts guy. at this
Sophomore slump.
I'll be
one
honest. I
playoff
can't
win.
believe he said that fast.
team. He says
I
it
don't
pretty
listen.
bad.
I understand CJ Stroud's going through a sophomore slump, but he did his rookie season, and you still see flashes this year of him being great. Get Nico Collins back out there. I think he's going to look fine.
Forgetting his MVP season.
No, absolutely.
Oh God. God. This one's tough.
I think
know who I'm taking.
CJ's just a more natural, accurate passer,
He is. He is.
and he's not as mobile as Hurts, so I think that's fair. But
Shit, he can.
I'm gonna
evade
go
some
with
sacks.
Jalen Hurts.
Jared Goff.
Jalen Hurts,
Jalen Hurts.
Is not another
Detroit guy. Talk to
non-conversation.
me.
No.
because Jared Goff's floor is 5 interceptions in a game. Jared Goff's floor is you have to play an outdoor game in Philly in January. I'm terrified of that. I don't have those same concerns with Jalen Hurts.
The success that Goff has in Detroit, Jalen gives you more because he's mobile.
Jared Goff's basically had what
Yes.
Jalen Hurts had in 2022, but just the last like 2-3 years in Detroit.
But with
Hurts
better
still
coaching.
has that.
well, no, I'm just saying Shane Steichen.
wait,
With
last
better,
year,
yeah, exactly.
Ben
Goff
Johnson.
now has the way better coaching. He has a slightly better offensive line, offensive units, personnel. You could say it's a push because of how talented both are. But with the coaching, right now
We
they're
have the
just
same team. They just have a better
talent-
coach.
Exactly.
talent-
Shane
talent-
Steichen
It's a-
and Jason Kelsey. I feel like those two, like that's what gets at.
The Eagles offensively are more talented than the Lions.
I can hear
yes,
that.
I agree.
It's the coaching with the Lions that I think.
Yeah,
I just
coaching
think
clearly.
You touch
you
them
know
more.
you have Monty, you have Jameer. Are they Saquon? No, but Jameer
Best
is
duo
one
in
of
the
the
league, yeah.
exactly. Amon Ra's one of the best receivers in the
AJ
game.
Brown's better.
He is. Oh, that's undoubtedly. But he has to stay on the field.
Yeah, but when he's on.
Oh, when he's on the field, he's
Smitty
different.
Clears, JMO. Laporta really hasn't been on anything this season.
true.
Dallas Goddard, you can argue, is
Dallas is
as
really
good or
good.
better.
Yeah, Dallas is solid.
Don't know if I'd go
Goddard
there.
has
But
been
either
a
way, I don't
good
think
tight end
either
for a
team
long
has this
time.
advantage that I really care about.
That
You know
tight
what I
end
mean?
advantage isn't
But
crazy.
the big advantage is coaching.
It's the coaching. It's Ben Johnson.
yeah.
And put Jalen Hurts with Ben Johnson. It's up and it's stuck. Here we go.
Respect Vic though. Vic's been in the mold. Vic
Oh
Fangio.
no, defensive coordinator.
He's
No
been in
doubt.
mold.
Vic Fangio is one of the better defensive minds.
Now, this next name is a name that, maybe we were kind of down on the last couple of years, right?
Okay, it's
but
Herbert.
it's Russell Wilson.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
You're not buying into this new Russell Wilson
name.
arc
Next name.
at all?
No.
Next name.
What do
please.
you think, Riff?
I think that's- come on.
Are you crazy? So you think Russell Wilson is just like the same dude he was?
he's just not better than
Anybody
Hurts.
said same dude.
He's just not better than Hurts.
It's Jalen Hurts.
He's like a bottom 10 quarterback in the league.
I don't know how many times I have to say that.
Russ.
Probably like the top end
Okay.
of the bottom 10.
Kyler Murray.
I'm gonna be real.
This
I'm gonna be real. I love Jalen. It's man, it's tough.
I'm saying Jalen Hurts. He's staying healthy. He's on the field.
So you think
took me
K1's
to a
better
Super
than
Bowl.
Stroud?
No, I'm going to go with Jalen.
I also like Jalen Hurts. I like, no disrespect to Kyler.
How will
I
Kyler look on
I
the
like
Eagles?
Jalen Hurts' leadership. I like the way he carries himself, leads this team. I think that goes a
Like
long
his
way
size
too.
too.
He's not, Jalen Hurts not that big. Like, he's strong, but he's not like tall.
With
you know?
the
know,
way
yeah.
that
We
K1
know what
has
you meant.
won in the pocket this season, I think that's what's on my mind heavily when I think about the two of them. Because as athletes, I think the slightly better athlete is Hurts because he's bigger.
Kyler's a better
I think
athlete.
Kyler's a way better athlete.
He's just faster.
Yeah, he's just
Kyler's
more
strong.
athletic.
He's
though.
Because you're-
faster, more agile.
He's not stronger than Jalen.
No,
No,
he's
no,
the
no.
strongest
But he's
shit for his
faster.
size.
No,
He's quicker.
he's straight up to say he's more athletic than him just because he's faster. To me, that's not what I'm.
He's more
talking.
agile too.
Which
He's
is
more
also
twitchy.
same thing.
He's way more agile,
Literally
yeah.
speed, agile, twitchy.
I don't know
feel like
because
that
you
all
could
is.
be, you can have great straight line speed, but it doesn't mean you have a lot of wiggle with
Like,
that.
Daniel Jones had great straight line
He
speed.
does have great
Right.
straight line speed.
Yeah, I
but
wouldn't
at
call
the
him
same
Kyler.
time, on top of athleticism, you have his speed, but on top of it, he can break tackles.
I don't think-
he can get away from defenders still too.
Jalen Hurts, his best quality as a rusher is his strength. When he's like running over guys, which I don't want him to do. I like Jalen Hurts straight up straight line speed, like, or him and CJ Stroud that much
we
different.
can't forget his first
shit
year
weak
starting,
now.
what he did to that Saints linebacker.
So you
Yeah,
think
no, for
that
sure.
Hurts is a better rusher than Kyler?
No.
So how's he a better
I
athlete?
said, just because you are a better rusher doesn't mean you're a better athlete. Like Josh Allen is a better athlete than
Josh
Kyler
Allen might be
Murray
the
is.
best.
He's a better. He could be a better rusher than him too, though.
I don't think he is a better rusher.
Josh Allen is faster
I
than
think
Jalen Hurts.
the best rusher in the league is Lamar Jackson. I'd say the second best rusher is Kyler Murray. That's my opinion. But I also
Where's Drake May at the table?
calm down.
Justin
Drake
They're
is
both
definitely
Knicks.
top five.
Justin Fields still in the league. That's
He's not a starter.
Starters.
yeah, but still.
I'd say Josh Allen's probably third, though, because Josh Allen's one of them ones. But at the same time, when it comes to athleticism, what Jalen Hurts is able to do, getting outside the pocket, how strong he is, that goes all together with athleticism, in my opinion.
You're going with Kyler over Jalen Hurts.
No, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Kyler.
I would go Jalen Hurts, but that's probably the closest
It
one.
is right. I agree. But you took Stroud. I don't know.
Who are you going with, Riff?
Take who you. I know who you want. It's
K1
fine.
I'd
It's
probably
fine.
take
close.
K1.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'd take K1.
It's fine.
He's been awesome this year.
K1's been better than CJ this year by a lot.
A lot is strong. He
I
had
feel
his
like
up and
K1
downs early
exactly.
on, too. I
K1's
can't
had
say
some
a lot.
stinkers for
Lately,
sure.
yes. A lot strong.
They've cleaned up the play calling, and also he's been a lot more confident. Just
I agree,
sitting in the
but like
pocket and letting
his
things develop.
first 6 weeks was definitely a up and down type vibe.
Don't
I think
disagree.
CJ his first 5 weeks, the team was up and down, but he was pretty great.
He's definitely clutched down the stretch, and that's
Yeah,
what stands
last
out.
3 weeks though, you got it. Like Kyler's been well above it. His low CJ lows are like hitting like Carson Wentz lows these last 2 weeks. You know, so it's been pretty.
I say this because, again, we haven't even seen Kyler Murray on full throttle when it comes to his rushing abilities this season. Of course, we know that he has that in his bag, but really what he's shined with this season has been his passing, or at least since that Miami-Chicago game. Since then, he really hasn't looked back.
But when he does, and he gets out in space, like he's already had multiple 40-plus yard touchdowns rushing,
little
celebrating from the
fast.
20-yard line. So I'm not exactly sure why he's not doing it more often. I understand why maybe you don't want to build it into the offense, but him just instinctually not getting out as often.
like a 5-year-old that's in trouble, and they're like running away
does.
from their parent. Like
He's
that
so
shit
damn
crazy.
good.
He's too fast.
So I'll kind of explain it like this. Like, who's the fastest guard in the league? Like, let's say Derrick Rose, right? During the time. Derrick
Not
Rose.
John Wall.
When they... Okay, fine. Let's say John Wall, right?
Like I'm sorry. Straight line.
Just speed, agility, everything. That's kind of
Probably-
why
yeah,
I went
probably
Derrick
John Wall,
Rose.
then.
Okay, John Wall. All right, for this conversation purposes, John Wall does that mean that he's just a better athlete than, let's go with LeBron James, or let's just?
Well, LeBron's different.
I'm trying to think of someone that's not LeBron, but you understand, like
D Rose. D Rose was more athletic than John Wall, but John Wall was faster.
But I think he's
Okay,
looking for a
perfect.
different
Thank
comp.
you. That's kind of
I think
exactly what I
John
say
Wall's
with two.
straight line speed is faster, but
But
D Rose is
Jalen
more
Hurts
athletic.
doesn't give you much wiggle. Like, he's not making a lot of guys miss.
He's not anymore, and I think
I
that's
feel like he got
in
heavy
due
as hell
part-
now, so he
Yeah,
got
he's
that
more
fast.
strong
I
than
think
anything.
that's
He's a
also
strong
in
runner.
due part to he's trying to protect his body,
Which I think is
like
fair.
we've seen him. Not that Kyler doesn't. Kyler slides, he avoids, but I feel like when he sees the tacklers coming, he's getting down.
Okay.
I don't know how else I could have worded that.
I guess the thing
truthfully.
that's confusing for me is like, what's your criteria for the boxes you're checking for who's a better athlete? Because
he checks more of them.
outside
strength,
of strength, what does he check?
strength. Well, in terms of athletic
Yeah,
abilities,
athletic profile.
great speed, great.
Kyler's better at
But that has nothing to do with my point. Better athlete, but he checks more boxes.
We're comparing Kyler
just because
to,
he's again. My whole analogy here was just because John Wall was faster than Derrick Rose doesn't mean that he's a better athlete than John.
What
than,
athletic
that's
traits
because
Kyler have him in?
Derrick Rose had things.
Just as fast
He had
with
the
the
speed
jump and
and he had the athleticism in
No,
the
I'm just
air.
saying, like, with that analogy, I was saying with just.
John Wall and Derrick Rose. Yeah,
he was
Jalen
more
Hurts and K1.
acrobatic than John Wall at the rim. Like the LeBron comparison, he's like LeBron is 7 inches.
I know. That's why
taller, you know what
I'm
saying?
glad you guys gave me another name.
Vertical and
So
shit
It's like you have Hurts who's bigger than he is. You have Hurts who's stronger than he is. He's not as fast as Kyler Murray,
Nope,
but he's
not
still
close.
one of the fastest quarterbacks in the league.
no, he's not.
Who's
There's a lot of quarterbacks faster than Jalen Hurts.
are there what?
Is Bo
seven?
Nix faster than Jalen Hurts?
He's not.
He might be.
He's not.
But he looks a little bit faster than
Jalen
him.
Hurts is not that fast, bro.
you got Josh,
Again,
you got
I think
Lamar, you got
Jalen Hurts
K1,
more
you
than
got
anything
Fields.
this season avoids. That's why he's not looking as elusive.
Did you mention K1 yet?
Yeah, so K1,
for sure.
Josh, Lamar, Fields, Trevor
Anthony
Lawrence.
Richardson.
Trevor Lawrence
But
is
there's
faster.
a
AR is
difference. There's a
faster.
difference, right? There's guys that are using their speed to enhance their game, like Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. They're making game-changing plays with that speed. Jalen Hurts is like picking up first downs. He's getting like 7-8 yards.
Yep.
He's not breaking open the game. So just because he's one of the 10 fastest quarterbacks, just because you're the 8th fastest quarterback, that doesn't mean you're close to what those top two
No, there's
guys
a
are giving you.
gap.
That changes like
There are moments where he's
the game.
awesome. I'm just asking, like, what's your criteria? Because you're giving me the stuff that Hurts is good at, and I understand that. But, like, let's say if we had a criteria of 5, like, if we're measuring basketball players, it's like shooting, ball handling, IQ, whatever else you want to do. Like, what's the criteria that you're using to say Hurts is over Kyler?
Again, all of the things that I'm trying to list that I've said like 3 times when it comes to strength,
Yes,
when it
Jalen
comes
Hurts.
to speed.
Kyler Murray.
But some of the things
Let's
you
keep it
listed,
going.
Kyler's
But
better
Let's keep
at.
it going.
But the only
What's
thing that
next?
I've listed is
Those are the
speed,
only two,
that
speed and
that
strength.
he's better. I guess arm strength, obviously.
I think Kyler got a better arm.
I think Kyler does too.
like in terms of finesse or straight arm strength.
I think both. I think he's more
Well, you're saying
accurate,
I should
and he
probably
has
take
a
Kyler
better
over
arm.
Jalen Hurts. But no.
You know what? Let's see. What really defines an athlete, right? I guess it's really the
football player?
simply
I'm
two
just thinking
things.
more physical traits, like
Jalen Hurts is like the
straight line
definition
speed,
of like
quickness,
the physical traits
strength.
quarterback.
Yeah, but all I need to know is that Kyler
Elusiveness.
Murray was a top 10 pick in the MLB and in the NFL. That's the ultimate athlete, in my opinion.
Okay.
That's why I think he's a
Mic
better
drop.
athlete, because he's an elite level athlete in baseball and an elite level athlete in football as well.
But again, his stature, his size that also is what I pair with Jalen Hurts as well. Like Josh Allen, I feel like is the ultimate definition of that. Like I think that when we're comparing the two,
But
like
Josh Allen's like 6'5" and just like
Agreed.
faster than Jalen Hurts.
And it's just as strong.
he's
Yeah.
just as strong is not true.
He
He's
might
not
be
just,
just
as
as
strong.
strong.
He's not.
Josh
He's a
Allen
big
I don't know,
carries
man.
me.
He's not.
Dude.
He's not just as strong.
I've seen him carry about 3 dudes one time.
I think they're in the same tier of strength.
Jalen Hurts.
But Josh also beat you with straight line speed. He can hurdle over you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he
yeah,
do
yeah.
all that type of athletic leaping shit. So it's
I
like
will also say there's levels to what Josh Allen's body can withstand
Yeah,
over
it's actually
Jalen
insane.
Hurts. Jalen Hurts has
He's
shown
just so
that
fucking big, man.
he is. He is a big dude.
Do you have any more names?
No, those are all the names
Okay.
that I really needed to list. I didn't.
I
think
thought for
any-
sure you're gonna throw Gino out there.
I just know your answer,
Okay.
he's not throwing that.
and that answer is going to disappoint me. You know, it's a shame, honestly, but you know.
Shout out to Gino, man.
And
Once
then
a
you know
Jets,
the other
always Jet,
guys.
you know?
It wasn't point to even list them. You know, I know who you're going with.
Like who?
You know, the top guys.
Oh yeah, like Herbert.
The one
Burrow,
that's right.
Lamar.
You know, the jersey is behind me. The
Should've-
jersey behind
Should have
you.
asked me Drake May long term because I would
Not the one behind Drew. You know that
we
guy
not taking that down yet?
is not playing well right now.
Got the wall looking funny.
Yeah. Now, Riv, the Eagles beat the Commanders 28-16. You know, Commanders scored a late game touchdown to make the game look closer than it was, but in the second half they blew the door open on the Commanders. What are your thoughts on the game?
Definitely nervous at first. Definitely excited for the moment. You know, this is a big game. You know, I don't think Washington has been in a big game moment like this in some time. For Philly, just another moment in the sun. You know, another big game against Washington to kind of take a stranglehold for a little while on the division. You go out there, you're in Philly. You start the first quarter off pretty weak. I mean, defensively, like Washington was doing some good things, but we had Jalen Hurts. Seemed a little rattled. Was missing a couple guys that was definitely open. The playbook. Then we had one play where we tried to do a Detroit Lions trick play. We lost like 15 yards.
That was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful the way we did that. But Washington defense was able to show a little bit of pressure. Make Hurts run when he didn't need to run and stuff like that. And I think they did some good things. But I think defensively, man, this defense really, it makes you fall in love with it. Like it's just so. It's so, like, the continuity is there. Like, we literally have a star at every level. It's Jalen Carter, who's, like, literally emerging into one of the best interior defensive linemen in football. I mean, he was able to just break open the game. There was nothing Washington's offensive line can do with him. Then you have Zach Bond, a kind of guy who, just came from free agency, kind of was a lost guy.
I picked him up in my fantasy IDP, have Zach Bond.
Nice.
Yeah,
Sweet,
I picked him up like last week. He gave me like 17 points last night.
He had 15 tackles.
Yeah, he was crazy.
He's been like a dog, been able to just break up plays, stop runners from getting multiple yards, just doing a lot of good things. And then in the secondary, we got Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, he's been, like, me and Joel, we was on the same wavelength because I knew he was going to talk about Quinyon. And I saw these stats, and like, because this is just this year against wide receivers. Quinyon Mitchell has been on his respect to PS2 Darrelle Revis vibes. He against Drake London, one catch, 5 yards. Against Chris Olave, 2 catches, 23 yards. Against
respect.
Mike Evans, 2 catches, 19 yards. Coop, 1 catch, 10 yards. Malik Neighbors, 1 catch, 9 yards. Locked him up. Jamar Chase put him in a box, 2 catches, 19 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 1 catch, 5 yards. And you're one of your favorite guys. I mean, one of the guys you absolutely love, adore. You're excited about him. Scary Terry, they give him that name. And Quinyon had him in jail. I mean, there was just nothing he can do. Quinyon has been one of the best shutdown corners in football this year as a rookie. And that's like something exciting that you want to see, especially from a Philly team that's been lacking in that secondary department. I mean, we've had Slay, who's been great over this time, but just that other end, like now we have Cooper, we have Slay, and we have Quinyon Mitchell. Then I can't forget my safeties. My safeties. Reed always finds a way to make these clutch ass interceptions. And Saquon Barkley, man, how much more can I say about this guy?
You cooked for that offensive player of the year.
Yeah, Saquon is just, he changes the offense. Like, when we are struggling with passing the ball, we know for a fact we have one of the best offensive lines in the league. We have Saquon Barkley back there who you literally cannot tackle. He can make nothing out of something. I mean, he had the spin move. He literally spinned into a hole and it was able to get like 6 or 7 yards. So when we have him, it just makes it easier. And the play calling's been cool. I know what Nick is, so I can't. All I'm asking for is don't fuck up the game as much as you can. I will say Jake Elliott is on fraud watch. We have to figure that out. He left us 7 points on the board, which was pretty nasty. This game really could have been 31-14, whatever it was. Could have really been a blowout. But shout out to Philly, man, answering the call.
That's how life in the NFL works. All it takes is one draft class to turn around your team. The Eagles were able to find 2 defensive backs in Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell to come in and replace players that were terrible for them last year. And that's been the difference. And, of course, the defensive line, the linebackers, what they've been able to find with Zach Bond and then Nakobe Dean developing. That's all you need. You just need those blue chip prospects. If they come in and they produce immediately, this is how it looks. Now, Quinyon Mitchell, he was amazing. He has fluid hips. There was one comeback route that he guarded Terry on that he was just with him the entire time. I do think Terry was playing with a little bit of a limp, but that's not taking away anything from Quinyon. I just don't think that, one, Terry was at his very best, and 2, Cliff Kingsbury did a pretty terrible job at moving Terry throughout the game and having favorable looks for him. Washington's offense,
a whole season issue. Yeah,
it really has. Washington's offense has been put in a box, and right now we look at this team and we have to start having serious question marks about how they might look moving forward because the offense
it's getting figured out. You think
is very gimmicky. It works. It works, and when it's good, it's really good. But Cam Taylor-Britt wasn't wrong when the Bengals faced the Commanders. It is a very simple, gimmicky offense. 65% of their offensive plays are either a run or a play-action concept. 11% of wide receiver targets are screens, the highest in the NFL. This isn't a drop-back passing game. And you see in situations where they're forced to be that, they don't look that good. We saw it throughout the entire game with Jaden Daniels. I also think that Jaden is just not finding a rhythm right now because I think that rib injury is bothering him. He's not able to step into throws and have power on those throws, and I think that's been really affecting him, along with the better defensive line play he's going up against now. The pressure response dating back to college was a concern of mine for him as a prospect. And we've seen in back-to-back weeks, the defensive lines have tried to contain him in the pocket, not give him these free rushing lanes, really win within the pocket. And there are moments where he kind of gets off a read too quick and he's already looking to scramble. He drops his eyes. He's not looking down the field. So how he handles that pressure is going to be a huge indicator of what we should expect from him moving forward. But the Eagles defense is an elite unit. I mean, this defense has completely turned around. First 5 weeks before the bye week, it was a pretty below average defense, but now they've been one of the best defenses in the league, and they're only allowing, I think it is 14 yards per drive. Sure. I think it's 14 and 19. It's one of those numbers. You know, this defense, it's amazing. And you mentioned Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell has been awesome. He's played at a Pro Bowl, all pro caliber level.
You mentioned Jackie.
The who?
Oh, no. Keep going.
The Darrelle Revis comps that I'm seeing a lot on Twitter and social media. Shout out to Quinyon. He's playing at an elite level.
Hey, listen, man, we're here.
Quinyon Mitchell stays on his side. He plays zone. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just how the NFL is nowadays. Darrelle Revis was traveling.
He just rains on parades.
Man to man, no safety help.
He rains on
They have
parades.
nothing else to do.
No,
If there's one thing
Yeah,
we're gonna have,
they gotta hold
it's
on,
the
you
best
know?
corner season of all time.
No
Right?
cap.
It's
I'm
not
letting
raining on
Quinyon
parade.
Mitchell ruin that.
It's
Listen, man.
providing the context because Quinyon was amazing. He was awesome on Terry, but the way that the Eagles defense works as a whole
kind of like Sauce.
is much more than one person.
right?
Similar, yeah. Sauce doesn't travel. Sauce isn't
Yeah, he
playing
doesn't.
man 70% of the
No,
time.
facts.
Yeah, and if Sauce had this type of season, which he's had the last 2 years as an All-Pro, I would not call him Darrelle Revis because he was not. You know?
But I only say that where immediately Sauce, off the first 2 years being All Pro, deserved, earned the name of being
Listen,
a top 2
Quinyon
corner
gets
in
2
the league.
years back-to-back All-Pro.
But I'm
we can have
asking this question
conversations.
because after year one, people already pushed the narrative that Sauce was the best corner in the league or in conversation for best corner in the league, playing a similar type defense. Now you have Quinyon, who's going out there every single week, locking up the best corner, best wide receiver every single week. Does he now get similar recognition?
well, I think
Or is
that,
it now because we saw Sauce and now we have a little bit more context, now we pump the brakes?
well, the only corner right now that's traveling for real is Pastor
He is
Tam.
too. He's
the
the
best
best
corner in football.
That's undeniable.
And Quinyon Mitchell has been awesome, but I look at what Christian Benford's doing in Buffalo. He's not doing something
he's
so
a dog.
different, and I think he's doing it a little
All
bit better
three of
with
them.
all due respect to Quinyon Mitchell. But I look at those corners right there, and it's like I said, like Quinyon Mitchell is playing amazing. That's just the difference. And the way this Eagles defense works as a whole, the reason why they struggled early in the year is because they had a lot of miscommunications on the back end. You look at week one, the huge Jaden Reed touchdown where nobody
Facts.
picked him up.
Chauncey.
That's how this zone defense works. And Quinyon, it's not like he was going up against Terry and it was like straight one-on-ones. It's like, you got safety over the top. You're kind of bracketing Terry. That's what they were doing throughout the game. That's just what the game plan was. And it worked to perfection. And Quinyon does a great job at securing his side of the field because that rep where he ran his comeback is Jaden Reed's first read on the play, and he doesn't feel comfortable throwing that.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels' first read on the play, and he did not feel comfortable throwing that. He works back to the dig, the backside dig. It's open. He doesn't throw it, and that's one of the concerning plays I had with Jaden on the day. But, that's how this Eagles defense is, and it's come from a collective effort, but the best defensive player on the team is Jalen Carter. I think Jalen Carter is a top 3 interior defensive lineman in the league. I think it's Chris Jones, it's Dexter Lawrence. Lawrence would be number 1, Chris Jones would be number 2, even though that could go either way because Chris Jones is the best defender on the best team in the NFL.
Damn, Q's not in this conversation.
Quentin Williams, with how he's played this year, is not in the conversation. I think he's
been
more in
playing
the
a lot
top
better
10.
the last,
He has
month,
been.
though.
He has bounced back. Jalen Carter, the problem with him is that there are games where he
checks out.
He checks out, exactly. He's not as consistent, but you see these moments where when he is fully invested, you see the Saints game, you see this Commanders game, you see the Giants game that he had just a couple weeks ago. He is able to single-handedly take over games on his own. And that's what makes him so fantastic. And that's why, to me, he's one of the 3 best. If you can maintain that level for the entirety of the season, there's no question in my mind. We could be talking about one of the best defensive players in the league soon.
You mentioned, listen, Quinyon, he don't need to be in top 2, top 3 talks.
I'm just trying to prove a point more.
And shout out to them boys in Buffalo because all 3 of them are good. Like Razul, Benford,
secondary is
Toronto.
elite.
Yeah, them 3 right there got it on the string. Quinyon top 10 though, man. Listen, coming from Toledo for sure.
Toledo.
And Toledo, thank you. guys.
Toledo's like the European way to say it.
We're
So I
here,
respect it.
Toledo. So coming from Toledo, and the narrative.
Hold on. When I was in Spain and I heard Toledo, that's how they say it
That
over
sounds
there.
fire. I'll be honest, that sounds way better than how we say it.
I mean, the
Toledo.
point is that Quinyon, there aren't 5 corners playing better than him this year.
I don't think so. And I think like coming from college, the knock on him was how is he going to look against top end talent? You know, the talent that's much, much bigger. And you see it every week. He's going up against maybe not the elite, like, but Chris Olave's still really good.
he's
Straight
always
up, he's going
here
up against a
every
dude.
single
Yeah,
time.
you're right. We do play a nice, beautiful zone, but when anybody wants to go underneath or in that intermediate, you're not getting anything.
And
on
I'll
Quinyon.
give credit to the linebackers too. There was one play that stuck out. Zach Bond, I don't know how the fuck he got early in the game where he was able to go full extension. That you mentioned, you felt like Cooper could have been right there for an INT, but Bond was just all over the field last night. What you guys have going on defense, I'm not sure if, I mean, we've had conversations about it, but this is probably the best defense that the Eagles have had while Jalen Hurts has been the quarterback.
It's a real defense.
Easily.
On all layers, when it comes to how great their rush defense has been, night and day from last season to this year. Your secondary as well. The addition of now playing Cooper DeJean in the nickel with what already Quinyon Mitchell has given you, big play Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, you have legitimate depth at the cornerback position. And with the way that Reed Blankenship has been a hawk on the defensive side too, that's what's been winning you ball games. And I feel like it's been outdated really, or you know, people kind of call it corny saying that defense wins championships, but that's 100% sound. Last season, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have the best ever, or one of the best ever, in Patrick Mahomes. So he's always going to give you that last second drive. You trust that he's going to be able to get it done. But what got them to that game was the defense and how consistent it was week in, week out. Now you look at this Philadelphia Eagles offense, and it starts off slow. You were very vocal about that, how your concern with them is first half offense, or at minimum first quarter offense. Come second half, they turn into a different demon. They're one of the better offenses. They're right now ranked number 1 in second half points.
They have to be.
They do. They have, but because they end up putting up a great amount of points. And it's off the fact, and that's also in due part to, them being mid in the first half. But that defense stays so consistent that even when your offense doesn't have it going early on, it keeps them in games and able to figure it out inevitably. And I think it is sustainable because you have so much depth at these positions that I look at the Detroit Lions, and I say that because you obviously just put a clip out. Who would you rather have, Detroit or Philadelphia? And you lean Philadelphia, and I understand where you're coming from because you look at the two teams. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is the best unit of all these teams. The offense for the Detroit Lions is consistent. It's sound, but even still last week, they won after throwing 5 INTs because they lost to another undisciplined team in the Houston Texans. We've seen the Philadelphia Eagles be one of the most disciplined teams in the league. And with Jalen Hurts and the passing offense still finding its way, finding its consistent ways, they still find ways to be one of the most effective offenses in the game. With that being said, I really like what I watched out of Philadelphia. One thing I'll say, I'm not turning my back on Washington and their offense. I'm not going to allow a bad performance against one of the league's best defense minimize what I've seen from the Commanders. And I'm not saying you're doing that, Joel. I say that where a big issue with Jaden yesterday was that he was uncomfortable, and that was obvious. But I've watched a lot, and the one game that sticks out to me the most is that game versus the Giants, where I thought the Giants had a great chance to win that game. They couldn't get off the field. Why they couldn't get off the field was because Jaden was comfortable in that pocket, stood there, let plays develop, and delivered darts to the numbers over the middle of the field, over the top. It did not matter. He has that ability in him. We've seen it. So I'm not going to allow a couple of weeks where you play one of the best pass rushers in football in the Steelers. You play one of the best defenses in football in the Philadelphia Eagles, and your offense doesn't look as sound to sway me from what you've shown me 80% of the season. So I still want to say I believe in the Commanders and what they're building for the future. I really like what I saw out of their defense in the first half. Saquon just got into a bag. There's not much you can do about that.
I think the Eagles solidify themselves as a top 2 team, if not the best team in the NFC. I mean, we talked about how great this defense has been since week 6 after the bye. Number 1 EPA, number 1 in success rate. Number 2, which I was surprised to see, is still the Detroit Lions. So their defense has still been really good, right? They've had good performances against the Texans, against the Packers a few weeks back. So I still think, as much credit we've been giving Philly, I think Detroit is still in this mix somewhere. But what Philly's been able to do, been able to turn around, as you mentioned, Joel, really just one draft class and also change of defensive coordinators, going to Vic Fangio. This is a defense that scares you, right? They've shown they could shut down Cincinnati. They've shown they can shut down the Washington Commanders. Those are 2 teams at the time they played that potentially go on a run, right? We're talking about Cincy's second half schedule. They could still make the playoffs. Talking about the Commanders potentially win this division. Then Philly went in there or at home and really just dominated this game from beginning to end. It's so nice to have Saquon Barkley back there. I do think part of the reason why their first quarter offense struggles is because they almost don't give Saquon the ball as enough, because I feel like they'll have a couple 3-and-outs, they'll punt a couple of times, and then that third or fourth drive, they give the ball to Saquon 2 or 3 times to get it started. Then the offense starts rolling and you could play it off of that. So I think that's part of the reason why the first quarter offense struggles. But for the Commanders, I do think there's something to say about what has changed in their offense when you compare what they've done the last month, the first 6 months of the season. The 3 reasons why I think the Commanders have struggled.
6 weeks of the season.
Excuse me, what I say? First 6 weeks compared to the last 4.
Yeah, you said 6 months.
6 months, 6 weeks. 3 reasons why I think the Commanders' offense has just not looked the same. Number 1 is the competition's been way different, right? When you look at those first 6 weeks, they played the Bucs, the Giants, Bengals, Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, and Panthers. Most, if not all, of these defenses were very weak at the time, very weak now. Over this past month, they've played the Bears, who are 5th in EPA per play, the Giants, who don't have a great defense, the Steelers, we know how great they are, and then the Eagles, who have been the best defense in football for the last 5 weeks of the season. So they're going from a pretty light schedule to one of the more difficult schedules you're going to see. And then Cliff Kingsbury's number 2, because we saw this in Arizona. I think we're starting to see it now just a little bit. We talked about this offense. Now, some of it needs context, right? Because you look at some stats, it's like Cliff is 15-5-1 in his first 7 games and like 8-18 in the remaining. It's like, well, Kyler Murray missed a lot of those games. So just looking at 2019 to 2021, Kyler missed like 2 games over these 3 years. In weeks 1 to 8, Cardinals were number 3 in EPA per play, number 9 in success rate. Second half of the year, weeks 9 through 17, they were 18th in EPA, 18th in success rate. So the offense goes from one of the strongest units in the NFL to a below average offense. I think we're seeing that a little bit here with the Commanders. They also desperately need a wide receiver too. Let me just throw that out there. You only have Terry. You really have no one else you could trust. Like, I think Luke McCaffrey really might be the second best receiver on that team.
He gets open.
But other than that, like, you have Diami Brown and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's really ugly.
Respect Zacchaeus, man.
And Zacchaeus.
I think legit. You're right. I think Luke McCaffrey is the number 2. They just need to do a better job getting the rock.
And then I think the last reason is some of Jaden Daniels' injury, right? When he got banged up 4 or 5 weeks ago, I don't think he's been, number 1, as a passer, as confident when he's stepping into throws. But number 2, as a rusher, the first 3 weeks of the season, he had 38 rush attempts. These last 3 weeks post-injury, it's down to like 25, 26 rush attempts. So he's still getting, some activity there. But those first 3 weeks, he was really making plays happen. But I think the Commanders, regardless, they were ahead of schedule. Like, they're 7-3 now. They'll still probably make the playoffs. This is awesome. It just pumps the brake on, like, can they be a true contender? Can they make this, like, NFC championship run? 7-4. My apologies.
Let me say this with what you mentioned about the teams that they've played. I thought he played well against Chicago. I thought he played well against the Giants. I don't think he played particularly well last night. Mm-hmm. He played all right against the Steelers. The Steelers do have one of the better defensive lines, and obviously they make
Bears
them comfortable.
was a little ugly.
They were really. It was ugly, and I think
Hail Mary makes it.
Of course,
but
but I think regardless of that, given that it was their first legitimate test of playing a real defense, his rookie season, I thought he passed. And especially when you look across the other side and what Caleb was unable to do, I still would say that was a passing performance.
I don't think this is about Jaden. This is about the offense as a whole.
Fair enough.
I think Jaden individually has still been fine for the most part. It's not like, oh my God, he's regressing. He's not looking good. I think it's just the offense.
Fair enough. And you know what? Then I digress, because a lot of what my mind's at right now is people immediately go to the quarterback, and that's on me for thinking that was where you were going with it.
I just think when you suffer an injury like that to your ribs, your base affects every throw you make moving forward. And that's the biggest thing. Like, when you are throwing the ball, you naturally, you're contorting your body. and you need that strength. And if he's hurting and if he's in pain, that's going to affect all of his throws.
The Bears game was before the Giants game, correct?
He got injured the Panthers game, and
yeah,
Mariota
Bears
came
was
in.
after,
So
I
yeah,
think.
those next 4 games, Jaden has been hurt.
So that's why I say that again, and maybe I'm looking too much into the Giants game because, the Giants defense is not that great, but the defensive line is what really moves you. I say that where Dexter was still getting into his face, but he stayed strong. He was delivering darts. I know that yesterday was a tough performance for them. They really couldn't get anything going. But then again, you're taking Terry out of the game. Now what does he really have to work with?
That's what I'm saying. It's gross. They don't have another wide receiver you can trust.
32 of
And Ben
he
Sutton
had
on the field. Here we go.
32 pass attempts. I believe 24 of them for Jaden against the Eagles were 5 yards or less. On throws 10 plus yards down the field, I believe he was 1 for 5.
One of them was like a running back screen, or like just the running back broke off like 35 yards.
Oh, yeah.
But it is funny too, and I give a lot of people on the internet credit for it too, for acknowledging as well. It's become a stigma for taking what the defense is giving you, and all we've talked about these last couple of podcasts is how we want to see the quarterbacks make these safe throws. Make the throws that just push the ball vertically and just continue drives. Make the play and take what the defense is giving you. Jaden did a lot of that yesterday because, again, that was the Eagles' game plan. Take away over the top, try to take Terry out of the game. And Eckler was one of the main beneficiaries of that. But if that's what the defense is giving you, what can you really do, especially when you're being met with pressure as much as you are? Terry is bracketed, and on top of it, kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Because he was banged up.
He was bracketed. Or Terry.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry was double teamed the entire game. He was doubled. Like, that's what they were doing. And they tricked Jaden on that exact thing. Like, because the entire game, Jaden, whenever he's looking at Terry, it's like, okay, there are 2 people in the vicinity, one with inside and outside leverage. He couldn't get away from it. The Reed Blankenship interception, if you look at that play specifically, Terry McLaurin is running down the field on this kind of post, and Reed Blankenship is supposed to be in coverage there, and Jaden sees that, so then he throws underneath. He's not expecting Reed Blankenship to break on the ball because he's like, this entire game, they have been taking those deep shots away. This one time, Jaden's like, okay, I see him kind of flipping his hips to go take Terry. I'm going to make this throw, and then Reed Blankenship plays that chess game, and he jumps the pass, and then he intercepts him. So those are the type of things that throughout the game, you're getting some looks, and then something else comes your way that you're not prepared for, and that's what Jaden faced. I mean, the Eagles are the best defense in football, arguably. They're one of the 5 best units, so I'm not surprised he had a bad game. I think that more importantly, it's just an injury. And they have to really limit him on these scrambles, that he can't be taking hits, because even against the Eagles, he took some shots as well.
Sure.
So every game he's taking shots, and he's definitely feeling that. So that's the only thing that I feel like has to improve.
I think we got Baltimore next week. I think.
Should be a fun game.
Yeah.
I think Baltimore has the Chargers next week. I was just looking at their schedule.
It's
Who
either
do you
next
guys-
week or the week after. Somebody important is next week.
Who do you guys
The
think
Rams
is
next week.
offensive player of the year right now?
I still will ride with Derrick Henry. And I know that Saquon's had his bye week already, and he's still number 1 in yards. And a lot of his touchdowns are being vultured by the handsome
So
one.
many.
He broke the record if he had them shits.
He would have a lot of touchdowns, but even still, Saquon has an insane amount of touchdowns. I can hear the argument for Saquon Barkley. You can argue he's the best offensive player on his team, where with the Baltimore Ravens, the best offensive player is Lamar Jackson, because he most likely is going to win his 3rd MVP, so long as they stay the course and they do continue to be one of the league's best defenses. But prior to this week, you still had Derrick Henry number 1 across the board in every single stat. His efficiency has been insane. Obviously, his goal line work, that was never in question. You saw it with Gus Edwards. You saw it with J.K. Dobbins. You saw it with Devontae Freeman, that he just has to get you there. Lamar will get you there. You do the rest, and now the rest is giving the ball away to one of the all-time greats in Derrick Henry. So I can hear an argument for both. It's called pick a side. I really love Derrick, but right now it's hard to not give it to Saquon, because, again, he's the best player on that offense.
I got a trivia for you guys. Saquon Barkley on his touches has been stopped at the 1-yard line 9 times. How many of those 9 times do you think the touchdown went to Jalen Hurts?
8.
9.
9.
8.
Yes. I know that for a fact because Saquon, I remember 1. I remember one. That was it.
If Saquon gets half of those, he's the leading touchdown guy too, over Derrick
Shit, if
Henry.
he gets all of them, what is he, like 20?
Bro, how did it happens for every Philly running
No, it,
back?
like,
Though.
literally
It's happened with
happens.
Swift. It happened with Miles Sanders. This is happening for 3 years.
It's like they set Saquon up to not get in. They're like, all right, tush push.
They got some weird shit going on there. Some weird
Yeah,
voodoo saying,
I'm
get down to
I'm
one.
gonna keep my same pick, man, in the offseason, man.
should.
Saquon's gonna win it. You know, QM's gonna win his shit. And we're gonna win the bowl. We're gonna just call this a winning
Hurts
year.
MVP.
We'll think about it.
See, this is why I can't get on board.
So no, I know. So to compare the two, just so you guys have it again, Saquon has played his game this week, but keep that in mind,
Yes,
Ravens
that is
have not had their bye week.
They're
So
even. They
it's
play
even
someone
right
right
now.
now.
It's 11:37 Saquon Barkley to Derek's 11:20. Saquon's averaging 5.8 a carry. Derek's averaging 6.1. You have 12 touchdowns for Derek. You have 8 for Saquon Barkley, and we just went over it. So many of those opportunities are Saquon being
So if he had
down
half,
at the
he'd be
1 yard
tied.
line. He would be.
A
Agreed.
half. He had them all where he need to.
yeah,
It'd
then.
be a different combo.
20-yard runs. I think this is what's impressive the most to me. Even both of them are at 24 flat. The two have been
They
on
both have 24.
24 each.
That's insane.
Yes, they both have been on a different
What's
level.
the passing yards? This is where we
Fair.
got
So Saquon has 210 receiving yards, 29 targets, 23 receptions. Derek has 96, 12 targets, 10 receptions.
I feel like 53 yards came on one catch too.
You have 2 touchdowns for Saquon, 2 touchdowns for
I
Derek
remember
in the
one of them
receiving.
TVs too.
5 20-yard plays for Saquon, 2 20-yard plays for Derrick Henry.
How many catches does Henry have?
Henry has 10 to Saquon's 23.
Hey, I wouldn't hate if Lamar and Derek gets MVP and offensive player.
Dope.
That would be dope.
I would
for
not be
sure.
mad at all.
I wouldn't hate it, just because the power and all that. But I would say this, like Saquon, like you mentioned, he's the best offensive player on our team. Like shout out to AJ, shout out to Smitty, love them boys.
He's
Shout out
easily
to
better
Jalen
than
Hurts.
AJ. This offensive player.
This year, yes.
I don't even say this year because when AJ plays, he's a dog.
Is Saquon better than Jalen Hurts? Offensive player.
Right, this
so.
year, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
This year, I think
Saquon's, like,
Saquon's
arguably
been
best
the
player.
guy.
Here's the
Football.
issue with that, though. Excuse me, I kind of had a list there. The issue with that is the last 6 games, Jalen Hurts has had over 100 pass, I think 110 passer rating in all of those games except last night. So Jalen Hurts has been still pretty great. It's just the bad play always stands out to you. For whatever reason, everyone wants Jalen Hurts to be perfect, and I get it, especially after last night when Saquon Barkley did his best carry job. But since the bye week, this offense has been humming.
It's not just last week though. Like Green Bay, Saquon.
This week.
You know what I'm saying? Green Bay though, Saquon back.
We
look at
won,
the
but
Saints
I'm
game.
saying post bye week. That's what I'm saying. Post bye week, this offense has been amazing.
Hurts
Yeah,
wants to
it's
turn
because
the ball over.
everything was complete, but all year it's been Saquon's been
Yeah.
when they
Yes.
give him the ball.
First 4 or 5
Even
weeks.
like he's literally
an early bye. You're like, week 5
and
bye.
Philly.
That's
like,
why I say that. Yeah.
Philly fans say this all the time, but he's really a drop away from like literally being like a ahead of Derrick Henry. I think by far. Like that one drop against Atlanta, he was on his shit. Like that was a good game he had.
See, now if you break it down like that, you mentioned the Packers game. I don't disagree. I think Saquon Barkley was the best player for the Philadelphia Eagles. On that Falcons game, Jalen Hurts was the best player on the field that night. I don't care. With just one drive ended up being the reason they lost that game, but Jalen Hurts should have walked away with the W. That Saints game, ugly.
Terrible.
Dallas
No doubt.
Goedert was the best player.
Dallas Goedert was the best
70
player
yards.
on that field.
This is why I think Saquon's the most important, though, is that you look at the Saints game. That game didn't break open until Saquon had a long rushing
agreed.
touchdown. And the same thing happened against the Commanders. It's a very tight game. You're kind of stuck in the mud offensively, and then Saquon rips off a big run. And it's a credit to the offensive line. Like last night, the Eagles had 150 rushing yards before contact, which was third most on the season. So this offensive line is doing a lot of the work and just opening up these lanes. But when you get somebody like Saquon Barkley in open space like that, that's naturally what's going to happen most of the time.
Demon.
I would still have Derrick Henry here. I think Derrick Henry, while Saquon's been amazing for Philly, I feel like Derrick Henry's been the best offensive player in the NFL this year. I feel like he's been dominating. I feel like he's changed this Ravens offense where last season it's like this is a really good Ravens offense, right? Lamar has taken another step to this is one of the best offenses we have ever seen in our lives. And Lamar has taken a step. I think Todd Monken trusts him more, and Lamar trusts Todd Monken. I think Zay Flowers has been better, and you've gotten, contributing help, but Derrick Henry has unlocked a lot of what this offense is, and they're so damn explosive because
fact.
of him.
I really don't care who wins. I love both of them.
Now, I have my top 10 running backs in the NFL. I posted this on Twitter. I wanted
Didn't
to
love the
share it
list
on
personally.
here. Yeah, I know. That's why I
Kyron
want.
Love?
That's why I don't have it. I
No,
want-
he had. I think he had Kyron 12. Tony
Oh, wait, you
Pollard
had
was
more than 10?
egregious.
I'm gonna start your top 10.
Yes.
He posted an extended tweet, and he had Tony Pollard above somebody that.
No. Somebody. This would happen. Somebody asked me. That wasn't a list. Somebody asked me, "Where's Joe Mixon?" And then I listed running backs that I think are better than Joe Mixon.
Tony Pollard's straight.
Tony
face
Pollard is better than Joe Mixon. Yes, I do think that.
Conversation, I feel like.
Hey, Tony Pollard, right? The Titans right now are 32nd in pressure rate in the NFL. They have one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
Beast this year.
He's been really
a
good.
beast.
Last
Joe
year
Mixon
he
has
was
two.
Last
sure.
year, last year Tony Pollard was hurt and he had a down year. The year before that, it wasn't a conversation between who was better, Mixon and Pollard.
Joe
Pollard was
Mixon's had a
better.
really good year though, with that bad offensive line on his team.
And
He's had a really
back-to-back
good
years, Joe Mixon's been really good.
It's just the Titans are so bad that it's hard to even like show what Tony Pollard's been doing.
And he's
one of
still
the
been
worst teams in
playing
football.
really well.
I was gonna say I
Yeah.
only know Tony Pollard's a beast because fantasy football. And we
I think
talk
they're in
about
the
him
same
religiously.
tier. I think Mixon and Pollard are in the same tier. I don't
What's
think
your
there's a
top
gap
10,
between
man?
those two,
Okay.
really.
My top 10 running backs in the NFL right now. Number 1 is Derrick Henry. Number 2 is Saquon. 1A, 1B.
We're back.
I really don't care how
We were
you
in
flip the
Brees
list.
talks.
It's 1 and
pain.
2. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey. When he's healthy, I still think he's one of the 3 best running backs in the NFL. Number 4 is Bijan Robinson. I feel like what Bijan Robinson is doing, his season has been flying under the radar. I mean, he's been a beast in the running game, in the passing game.
Facts.
He is a top 5 running back in the NFL, undisputedly. Number 5, this one was tough for me. I had Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's been a top 5 running back this year, although he's had moments. This is just off the respect of what I think he can be and what he has been. Really,
banged
what
up,
he
though.
has been.
This guy right here, number 5, should have been who I believe is your number 7. But keep going.
Jonathan Taylor,
Who you have 5?
that's 5.
Yep. Number 7 should be in his spot.
Number 6, I got Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker is one of the most elusive bowling
this.
ball type backs in the league. The Seahawks just have one of the worst offensive lines, and they're always playing from behind. And they never try to establish a run because they can't run the ball.
a fact.
So he doesn't get any opportunities. And that's why I had Jahmyr Gibbs number 7. I can see Jahmyr Gibbs being number 5.
Jahmyr top
He could
5.
be over
I think
Jonathan
Jahmyr,
Taylor.
yeah.
But I do look at Jahmyr Gibbs and Kenneth Walker, and I do think that Kenneth Walker, if he's given an offensive line that dominant, could look just as good, if not better. That's why Kenneth Walker, to me, I kind of value what he's doing in Seattle a little bit more, just because it's in a terrible situation.
You got to think the numbers that Jameer's putting up too.
In a split backfield,
Less than
yes.
60%
This
of
may
snaps.
be a hot take. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is better than Bijan. I think he's 4. Like,
This year has shown me Bijan was rightfully so number
I
1.
like he reminds me so much of just a more explosive Alvin Kamara, and I think the world of Alvin Kamara in his prime, and like what he can just do in the passing and in the running game is so ridiculous. Like he's just so explosive. But yeah, I like Gibbs for me would be 4. Like I think highly. Of
I would have
Gibbs.
Bijan 4. His size and speed's crazy, bro. Like he might have the best burst in the NFL. I swear to God, when he gets out and he hits a
Gibbs
hole,
is fire
he
too,
is
though.
fucking running through it. Like we were having these conversations early in the year on the fantasy reaction about Breece Hall and Bijan because they both started off slow. And I was like, I trust Bijan more because he looks like an elite running back on the field. Like Breece was like, I don't know, he's kind of slow. He doesn't look like he has that same explosiveness. I really do think Bijan might be the most explosive player in the league, at least at the running back position.
I could definitely be talked into Jonathan Taylor moving down some spots because past couple of seasons hasn't been quite himself. This season, he's kind of getting back on track, but even then has not week to week been dominant. Number 8, I have Chuba Hubbard. I think Chuba Hubbard's a top 10 back in the league.
He's good, bro.
The Panthers, they have a really good offensive line, so I want to shout them out as well. But you got to understand, like Chuba Hubbard is producing with an offense that for half the year was not able to do anything. It wasn't even able to pick up a first down, with quarterback play that is not as good as any across the league, and receivers that are not as good as any across the league. And I just look at Chuba, the way he can break tackles, his pass blocking ability, his ability out the backfield to catch passes, his explosiveness when he bursts through those holes. I think Chuba Hubbard has solidified himself as one of the best running backs in the NFL, and I think he's one of those top 10 guys.
Are you saying just this season or just like running backs in general? Because I think Hubbard's having a top 10 season. I don't know if I would say right now those are the only 7 guys I'm taking ahead of him.
I can be talked into both ways. I think this season he's having a top 10 running
I
back
agree.
season
I agree with
easily.
you.
But I also think that, for example, what are running backs that you think are you would take over Chuba?
I think you have James Conner at 10. I would be taking James Conner over.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I'd have to look at list of names.
Him or Montgomery.
He has Josh Jacobs over him.
Chuba.
Chuba.
he
you
had-
take Chuba over Montgomery.
Yeah. I'll take Chuba.
I like Montgomery.
I think it's close. I'll
It's
take
tough
Chuba.
because they're in two just complete opposite scenarios.
Think
like
about how
Montgomery.
good Monty is that he breaks into Jameer's opportunities.
Monty's really good.
That's something that I always have to keep in mind when I think about Monty is you had a top 12 pick used on Jahmyr Gibbs. The keys were supposed to just be handed over to Jahmyr, and Monty is simply too good to allow that to happen.
I would take Achane over Hubbard.
I would also do that.
Devon Achane, I mean, when Tua's not played, he's not really
I
produced
mean,
much at all.
team's dog shit.
Yeah, I know. Look, what the fuck are the Panthers?
Are we thinking at
But their
all about
offensive
Aaron
line was
Jones
decent.
if he's healthy?
Cook.
Aaron Jones, this is weird, but the
Kyron
Vikings,
Williams disrespects.
Shit, you're good.
It hurts.
You wouldn't get
the
paid.
Vikings rushing attack, although Aaron Jones' numbers have been pretty good, like he's not breaking much tackles. The difference between Montgomery and Gibbs, and this is the reason why I think he eats into his workload, is Montgomery breaks tackles at a very high level.
For sure.
And Gibbs is more elusive. Like once he gets into that hole, he can really burst out a run. But like in terms of just breaking off tackles and having that contact absorption, he's not really like that. Like he's not as good as a guy like Chuba, in my opinion, even though I would have him ranked higher. Number 9, I have Josh Jacobs. I think he's having an incredible season. You can argue that the 2 games that they played with Malik Willis, he was the main catalyst for those wins. The Packers have been one of the best rushing offenses in the NFL, and he's kind of getting back to what he was 2 seasons ago. He's breaking tackles. He's playing with a lot of elusiveness. And number 10, James Conner. I could hear James Conner higher because James Conner has been a tackle-breaking machine. And one thing's for sure, I will not have James Conner outside the top 10. I think he's one of the very best running backs in the NFL. And then just outside of it, you have guys like James Cook. You have David Montgomery. You have Devon Achane. You have
where's Brian
Aaron
Robinson?
Jones. Brian
just
Robinson,
purposely
I
not
think,
saying
is
Kyron
in
Williams.
the top
I
6.
heard his
petty.
name.
Brian
It's
Robinson,
disgusting.
since he's gotten banged up, hasn't been that same type of guy. But at the beginning of the season, he was one of the best backs in football.
I think Kyron Williams is in that conversation, but if you ask me, like, do I think Kyron or Brian Robinson is better? Am I crazy to say Brian Robinson?
Robinson's really good.
I think though there's a lot of good running backs, and that's what me making this list made me realize that there's a lot of great running back talent in the NFL right now. That I mean, there's a ton
You
of
have Isaiah
studs.
Pacheco and all this.
Pacheco's like probably 20.
Yeah, Pacheco's
There's
he's
a lot of good running backs. coming off the
aggressively
draft
average,
class.
and that's nothing wrong with that. I think he's a good player.
There's gonna be so many good.
A lot of great players.
But even the running backs that are like average are really damn good. You know.
So where's
that's-
Brees Hall?
He definitely dropped out of the top 10.
No, for sure. But I didn't even hear him in the top 15.
We didn't even hear him in top 20 low key.
So
He's in the area.
So right now, looking at the numbers, because I was genuinely curious, run block win rate, you guys rank 5th lowest. Yards before contact on a run, you guys are dead last. Your guys' run blocking unit is by far and away the worst in the league.
No, we suck. That's why for me, I don't know, because if you can't penalize a player for being in a bad situation, but you can't prop them up overly for being in a bad situation either. Like Brees Hall gives us these moments where we can't just say, oh, if he had all this, he would be great. Because we don't really know that. Like Kenneth Walker has shown me more moments where he's been great in his bad situation than Brees Hall.
I think this year maybe, but
You
last
said
year
Brees was a
crazy.
superstar.
The Jets had the 32nd ranked offense in the NFL.
But so what?
Who cares?
Why does that have to do with him?
So what is that? I stopped watching a lot of Jets games, so I don't know.
So you're just gonna take our word.
Yeah, I'll take your word. I didn't
Okay.
tap in. Bro,
To your
the-
favorite
the-
team.
That was crazy.
You didn't tap
Offensively.
into your favorite team.
I'm not gonna
Offensively.
pretend like I didn't watch every Jet snap, but I know Brees was out there killing every
That was
single
crazy.
like.
to say.
No, come
was
on.
crazy.
You're better than that shit.
He said,
You don't gotta
dude,
watch every
I'ma
game to
just
know
go with your
Brees was
word.
dog.
No,
Talking
dude,
last
you don't know how bad it is watching that Jets offense.
Brother, I watched the Broncos.
It's
when
not.
we
I
were the
promise
worst.
you, it's not as bad as
Zach
the
Wilson.
First year of
I promise you
Broncos
it's
wasn't
not.
that bad. We were the worst defense in the league.
Dude.
Zach
we-
Wilson Jets.
Last
We
year
averaged like
Do you
12
remember them
points
old
a game.
Chicago star lineups?
for the Bulls.
Yeah, come
I
on,
remember
bro.
the old Knicks lineups. Yeah.
Come on. We've seen worse. Like
No.
dreadful offense.
They had the worst third down conversion rate in NFL history last year,
Russ had more bathrooms in his house than touchdowns.
and he was still more efficient.
Chip
He was-
Kelly had
and he
Mark
was so
Sanchez
much better than
starting.
Zach
he was like
Wilson.
11 for 10.
He was so much better than Zach
Brother,
Wilson.
11 for 10 is due.
Dude, it's Zach Wilson.
It's Russell Wilson. He gave me 11 for 10. Come on.
And dude, I watch every Jet snap, but like you can easily lose a great Brees Hall play when 20 of the offensive snaps have been dog shit, and then that 21st one is like, oh, it's a good play, it's a good offensive play.
Absolutely.
You can easily lose that because everything else is just bad. I remember watching last year the Jets face off against the Giants, and they punted the ball to us, and we won off a miracle. That entire game, I think we only had one scoring drive. I watched these moments. I watched
the Giants game? Is that what
yes,
you're talking
the
about?
Giants game.
Bro, I can't believe. I still think sometimes why Dable didn't just kick it. He would have kicked it. We were not getting a first down. We would have punted. They could have hit a field goal and ended it.
No, for real. Like, no, it was watching the Jets offense was dreadful. Like, it got so boring that you would watch it. You're not, oh shit, we're not going to pick up a first down. As soon as it got to second down and we get stopped, it's like third and long. All right, let me go on my phone. Let me just
Can't blame
do
you.
this. That's how watching the Jets was. But no, there's a lot of running back talent in the league. No, there still is. Actually, I stuck around longer. I stayed until the end of the third quarter watching this Cardinals game, and then I just couldn't take it.
I was watching the Cardinals game because I was watching the Cards.
They smoked us.
Players
Marv's here. Oh
in-
my God, he's about to go on a tear rest of the season. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, he might. Trey McBride also might go on a tear. Both
The whole
of them might go
offense.
on a
You
tear.
saw Matt Harmon drop the reception for all the rookies.
And what do you say? Of course.
Outside of the fucking go route, he's been pretty damn
Just
good.
not surprised at all.
What was Brian Thomas's? Because he didn't post it on his Twitter.
I don't know. I didn't see Brian Thomas's.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas, love him. Marvin, love him. Malik, love him. This whole class, it's just the greatest.
Vibes.
I've been trying to trade Brian Thomas, man. I'm
Oh,
too
he's
late.
you can't trade him. He's
No,
untradeable.
tough.
yeah, it's over now.
Old
So
in Dynasty,
I need
but-
some fantasy help. So
I'm
real quick.
contemplating dropping him, but the only reason I'm not is because it's a keeper league and I drafted him late.
Okay, so I have these options that I have to pick from, right? So my running backs are Kenneth Walker and Kareem Hunt. I'm not touching them.
You shouldn't.
What
I
league is
seen
this?
sloppy Sundays. I seen Kareem. I seen Pacheco practice, but I don't think he's gonna play.
Nah, he's out.
He's
He's
not.
already
Really,
out.
it's about my wide receivers. I have DK Metcalf against San Fran,
Not great.
Hopkins against Buffalo,
Not great.
Okay.
Brian Thomas against Detroit,
Ass.
and DJ Moore against Green Bay.
You're starting the first two.
You have to.
I have to start DK and Hopkins.
Yep.
That's what I have to start.
You do.
Okay, I had a feeling.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, no way. Brian Thomas, dude.
He's unstartable.
Yeah, DJ Moore. Yeah, you're right. I can't.
Both of them, unstartable.
Yeah.
We were talking on Fantasy Reaction last night. DJ Moore hasn't had more than 30 yards in like the last month. It's fucking awful.
What's wrong with your guy, dude?
Fucking beats me. I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
Now, when we said that he's not a top 50 wide receiver in the league, I
We
cried.
capped.
Did they?
All right.
Is he
Wait.
even the best receiver on his team?
Listen.
Yo, Lad McConkey or DJ Moore?
Oh my
Okay.
Lad
God.
McConkey,
Look.
Oh
I
my
knew he was going
God.
to say
Look.
that.
Yo, Cortland Sutton or DJ Moore?
Yep.
Cortland Sutton.
Keep going. Keep getting
Yo,
distracted.
QJ or DJ Moore
Keep
right
doing
now?
it. You guys did this with Darius Garland. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Go ahead.
This
I
season,
think DJ Moore's good.
Nah.
No, this is terrible.
JSN or DJ Moore?
Lock in.
Oh, that's easy.
Drew. Keep you definitely keep going. This how it ends with
He's
you.
definitely not been top 50 this year.
Zay
though.
Flowers or DJ Moore?
Zay
Oh, Zay
Flowers,
Flowers.
easily.
Zay
Yep,
Flowers.
Jalen Coker
Rashad
or DJ
Bateman
Moore.
or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore.
Yep.
Jalen Coker or DJ
Sleep
Moore.
on Rashad.
Jalen Coker.
Oh my God.
I think I'll go Coker.
Juwan
Leggett or
Jennings.
DJ Moore?
I'll go DJ. No, Coker's the one though.
Yep,
Coker's the guy.
Yep. First of all, Dontavius Wick sucks too. Bro.
Oh,
I just dropped in my dynasty
just
league,
remember
bro.
that.
I had enough.
He doesn't suck. He just can't. He
Can't
can't hold on to
catch.
the ball.
He can't do the
his
one
job.
important
Can't
thing
catch.
of a wide receiver.
You know that there's a stat that he went to the University of Virginia. Every other year, his drop
just
rate
can't.
went up and then it went down. So like
He's back next year.
his last year in Virginia,
But wasn't
he-
his catch rate bad last year? Or like his drop rate?
no, it wasn't. It was
so
this year is
next
much
year-
lower. This year is
Oh, so
really,
next year he's
really
back.
bad.
He's
Yeah.
back as fuck.
Yeah, he's the every other year type of guy. Devontae Adams had drop problems for Green Bay.
Yo, stop.
Yo, Darnell Mooney or DJ Moore?
Darnell Mooney.
Mooney's dog.
I want y'all to, I remember this day because he did this with Darius Garland.
Ray
Next
McLeod.
year-
Here with Darius
See,
Garland.
look,
Cut the
look,
nonsense.
yeah. So next year, if he tries to do this again,
I was the highest on the Cavs. You can't tell me otherwise. Sorry.
he's gonna try to do this again. Watch.
And my main reason was that Garland was back. So whatever.
Yeah, I know you like to do that. You like to talk your shit, and then
What do you mean?
You know, run your mouth throughout the year, and then when my
Sorry,
when
are you
my,
just mad that I'm right? Because
my boy
Cavs
is
are
back.
13-0.
when my boy is back, you like to dick ride.
You know
I was
what's
here
right?
before.
That
He
Dyson
was.
Daniels and Larry Nance you would rather have over DeJounte Murray.
DeJounte's hurt.
You cooked.
I don't care if he's hurt.
Nah, he cooked.
I don't even care if he's hurt.
It's such a better fit.
I've been here.
It's such a. I mean, Larry Nance, whatever, but Dyson
been here.
Daniels is
Aren't you a
fucking crazy.
DeJounte Murray fan?
I've been here with Dyson. He knows that. I've been here.
he
Dyson
follows
playing
us
great
on
hoops.
TikTok.
Does he?
No, he's a
He
legend.
still does, yeah.
Yeah, I've been here with Dyson, man.
I love Dyson's game. DeJounte Murray's a better player.
I
than
left
he is.
DeJounte after his last year birthday.
Yeah, it's insane.
I feel like DeJounte
You
Murray.
broke up with him on his birthday is nuts.
DeJounte Murray's an
Exactly
addition by subtraction kind of player.
I understand
Norman
that.
Powell
No, the
vibes.
fit was fine. I agree.
Yeah,
but I
Well, they're
say
not-
that where the Pelicans needed a player like DeJounte, and it's unfortunate he's hurt, and now the whole team's hurt.
I think even if they're healthy, we would have noticed that it wasn't going to be that good.
First game was
I don't know.
viral.
They were playing well, and then he breaks his hand.
Yeah, I mean, he only played.
I mean, you look
One
at the
game.
past two
Not even the full.
situations.
Literally one game. Missed. Yeah, whatever.
He leaves the Spurs. They get Wemby, addition by subtraction. He goes to the Hawks.
He's pushing a
they,
nasty
They
That's
That's not how
trade
it
him.
worked.
I'll be
get-
honest, that's hilarious. That's a hilarious jump right
They
there.
get Dyson
Nah, he's
Daniels
cooking.
and Larry Nance Jr. They're both
The
serviceable role
goalpost
players.
moving is elite.
I respect the fuck out of that.
Nah, me too.
I definitely think Dyson's a better fit, though. Like, DeJounte's the better player, but Dyson's the better fit.
Listen, I said I like what they did with this Atlanta Hawks roster. You asked me, Dyson and Nance versus DeJounte. I'm taking DeJounte. He's the best player.
Dyson's not going
But
to be a
DeJounte's
second best
moving.
player on this team like it's Jalen Johnson. He's just a nice complimentary player.
Facts.
We're going to talk about
Oh,
NBA most improved player candidates this year. Riv, you put out a tweet about it, so I thought it would be an interesting conversation. Now, just for conversation purposes, the MIP odds as it stands right now, according to FanDuel, Jalen Williams is number 1.
Yep.
Jalen Johnson's number 2. LaMelo Ball is 3rd. Norman Powell is 4th. Cade is 5th. RJ is 6th. Grady Dick is 7th. Christian Brown is 8th. Evan Mobley is 9th. Benedict Mathurin is 10th. And Dyson Daniels is 11th. And that's where I'm going to stop there. Who do you think is left off? And we can also, have
This is an easy
conversations
one.
about who is on the list.
Unless
as well.
I didn't hear it. Payne Pritchard. Did I miss that?
He was not listed.
Payne Pritchard. If there's someone that was left off that list, he's going from averaging 10 points a game to 16 points a game. He's up to 67% true shooting. He's not only a candidate for most improved player, but he's a candidate for sixth man of the year. What he's been able to bring off the Celtics bench, being a spark plug, being a 3-point shooter. He's getting down to the rim. He's going one-on-one with dudes. He's shooting over guys that are 6 inches taller than him. It's what Payne Pritchard's really been doing for the last year or so, but it's just taken to a whole nother level.
Payne Pritchard, last 7 games, in 6 of them, he's had 16 points or more.
What was the other game?
Do you want to know the one game that he didn't have that many? He actually had 6. It was a game that I bet on him to have 16 points.
That cracked me the hell up, honestly. But of all the players you listed, the guy who's made the biggest jump by far is LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is averaging 30 points a game. It's his most efficient so far from both shooting from the field and from 3-point percentage. On top of it, the way that he's been aggressive and getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, he's been one of the better offensive engines this season. His step back rate is insane. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like almost, I think, over 70% right now where we stand. The step back threes. He's
Step
just
back three,
yes,
70%?
Yes, I don't even think I'm exaggerating either. Where my mind can be tricking me. I'm almost 100% positive
insane.
it's in the 70s. He's been that effective from 3-point range on step backs. He's been sensational also as a playmaker. Just what he's meant to the Hornets. Of the top 3 that you listed, of J-Dub, of Jalen Johnson, and of LaMelo, so far this season, he's been the most improved. But why I can understand you have J-Dub and Jalen Johnson is LaMelo Ball was supposed to be this. Mm-hmm. We anticipated that. It's just injuries have kind of plagued his career so far. Last 2 seasons, hasn't played 40 games. But with Jalen Johnson, it's been a slow progression to start this season. Slow because, of course, it's kind of come like individually game by game because we're only 12, 13 games in. But the last 6, he's really found his offensive game really become a lot more efficient. And then J-Dub, with the injury to Chet Holmgren, now he has been listed as a center because he just has to play that role right now. And we've seen him be more effective, more efficient on the offensive side, being more aggressive. That's really what has really boosted him there. That was my preseason pick, J-Dub, because it felt they would have the team success. Plus, he would have the counting stats. And honestly, it really isn't much improvement for me with J-Dub. Is that he's just going to get more opportunity. That's kind of where I don't look at him as my true MIP. Again, I see the jump that we've seen from LaMelo. I feel like of the 3 and with what he's done for that team and how efficient he is. I don't know if that'll be sustainable, truthfully, but of names that you listed, of course, to me, the one that sticks out the most is Christian Brown. And it's the most fun conversation because KCP Lees goes to the Orlando Magic. He's been really struggling early on so far. Christian Brown, from last season to this season, though, he's gone from 7 points a game to 16 points a game. He's been one of their best defensive pieces, if not their best defensive piece. Him and Peyton Watson, what Peyton Watson has been as a shot blocker, obviously. But really, he has been the one that stood out to me, how efficient he's been from three-point range to an unsustainable 50% from three. He shot the three ball last year at 38%, but to have more attempts this year early on, which you know he was going to have more attempts with the subtraction of KCP. Christian Brown, for how successful they've been after the rough little patch that they had to start the season, he's been their second best player in my opinion for how consistent he's been night in, night out next to Nikola Jokic. So he's the one that I would give my flowers to the most.
So yeah, I had a tweet. I had a couple good names on here. I called it the real MIP award vibes because I feel like we've lost essence of the award. Like we're giving top 3 picks.
Before the show started, you said Amen Thompson's going to win it next year.
Yeah, but that was because we lost essence of the award. And plus his improvement. Listen, brother, if he becomes a 36% three-point shooter, dude, like, that's a fucking lit improvement.
You know, Riv, I do think you have a point because I think the NBA has lost the essence of what most improved player is. It used to go to a guy like Aaron Brooks. Now it goes to like a lottery pick.
Stars that are meant to be stars.
Like an all-star that takes an all-NBA jump. It is a noticeable jump, but I always kind of felt like this award was for like under-the-radar guys. Like Julius Randle taking an all-NBA jump when he's just been like a starter.
Laurie did
as well.
take the award from SGA, though, deservedly so.
He should have.
Yeah,
that's a real MIP jump. Like you were a top lottery pick. You kind of lost your way under Chicago with Fred Hoiberg and stuff like that. Then you go to Cleveland. Now you're relegated to a role player spot. You go to Utah, you're a fucking all-star. Yeah, that's a legit jump. Like,
what about Maxey last year?
Tyree, I yes and no, but
he wasn't a lottery pick.
But that's why I say I think it was a good decision.
And I thought Maxey was cool because, like, but I feel like you kind of like he always gave the vibe that you saw it and you felt it, and it was only a matter of time.
I think it's a difference.
Kobe White was my MIP.
Kobe White lit,
and you cooked.
Like
that was one of your best preseason predictions.
That's why I think like guys like for me like I had Scottie Pippen Jr. on the list because I feel
like that. I mean, just name your list right now. These are your real MIP.
The real MIP award vibes this early for me. Scottie Pippen Jr. was up there. Grady Dick is up there. Norman Powell. Ivica Zubac. I hope I said it right. Dennis is up there. Bilal Coulibaly. And I want to give a shout out to some dude named Moose because he added a couple names that I thought were dope.
Moose NBA?
Yeah.
Legend.
He added Jaden Ivey, who's been playing really well to start the year. Dyson Daniels, of course. Ben Mathurin. Santi Aldama. Tari Eason, and Christian Brown. Like just dudes who are like... Some dudes who are older that are getting a little bit more opportunity and you can see they can put up the numbers. Other young dudes who kind of lost their way in a different spot, went to a new spot like Scottie Pippen Jr., Dyson Daniels, kind of like finding their ways within the starters and being a rotational player and somebody that can actually contribute and stuff like that. So really like we got to start giving it to these guys, like, or maybe find a different award because I feel like why are we giving a top 5 pick an MIP award if we kind of already knew you were going to do, like, I feel like that's what all NBA is for. Like, when you make that leap and then you kind of get your third all NBA ballot or you get your first all-star game, that's kind of like Scottie Pippen Jr. is never going to make an all-star game, you know? So that's how
like,
so LaMelo, apologize, go ahead.
Yeah, LaMelo, I know, are you going to say he was an all-star now he's averaging 30?
He was a top 3
has these
pick,
numbers, he's 13.
All-NBA player, but it's kind of gets grouped into why like SGA
I think it's a difference between
2 years ago.
Expected progression from a player. Like we expected Tyrese Maxey to be amazing. Yep. We're expecting LaMelo to be amazing. It almost feels like it should be like the biggest surprise of the season. Like Lauri Markkanen doing what he was doing. Yeah. Julius Randle, you mentioned a few seasons ago when he was with the Knicks. Like that isn't exactly natural progression, right? But on the other hand, it's also like a guy like Dyson Daniels who, although he's still only in his 3rd year, it wasn't like just natural progression. Like it feels like there was a bit of a dip in his value or his value wasn't rising. Like he's this young star coming up. Like he needed a different scenario for him to like really break out into the player he is today, where he's averaging 3.5 steals and damn near a block a game and is on pace to double the deflections record. Like he needed that new scenario for him to gain this value. So I feel like there's some situations where there's caveats, but for the most part, it's, if we expected this, I don't know if it's most improved. But if you surprised us, okay, I'll give it to you.
So with that being said, we've been a podcast who've been very critical of Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero has been playing excellent basketball so far.
He's been the best player in the
season.
Yes.
And that is 100% the truth. Averaging 25 a game, 50% from the field, 9 attempts a game from 3-point range. He's shooting 48%. he's been lights out offensively. And I say that where we've been low on him. And he's been around a 20-point per game scorer, but it seems as if he's really refined his offensive game so far this season. And with the Heat, obviously being an underwhelming team, Bam Adebayo being an underwhelming offensive player, Jimmy Butler already going through injuries, him being underwhelming himself, I feel as if I know we were anticipating a progression in Tyler Hero.
We actually were.
We hadn't seen, well, after his rookie campaign.
Well, I'm saying like now you
But that's why. Exactly.
So I wouldn't even be mad if he was in the MIP vibe because we expect like we've kind of like have this thought. He's a sixth man. He's a spark plug. If he starts, he's gonna get you his nice 16 to 20 points per game. But we're not thinking all-star level, top end. But now you 25 a game.
We thought he would fit in with Bam and Jimmy Butler. Now he's like, I am the best player on the team through 12, 13 games. And that's how he's playing.
Here's my problem with it. I'm okay if a player takes a noticeable jump and he goes from being a really good player to a great player, like Jalen Johnson, right? Last year, he averaged like around 16 a game. If he takes a jump and he's averaging like 25, then you have to take that into account. But my problem is that you look at all the players that are in the top of the MIP odds right now, Jalen Williams is averaging 21, 6, and 5.
Yep.
That's what he did last year.
Agreed.
And these numbers went up because Chet's injury. They only went up after Chet's injury, mind you. Jalen Johnson, 19, 10, and 5. He got better, but this is what he did last year. This is not much different. LaMelo Ball, 35 and 6. I think that's the most noticeable jump, and that's probably the one all-star that should get considered for MIP. A guy like Norman Powell encapsulates what MIP is about.
10,000%.
You go from being like a 14, 15, 16 point per game guy, 6 man of the year, you're in your 30s. Now you're averaging 25 and keeping the Clippers afloat.
Shit out there,
that's a real MIP candidate. I look at Cade. He's averaging 24, 7, and 8. I mean, that's kind of what Cade has kind of been doing on the Pistons.
They're kind of playing winning basketball, though, which is why I get it.
But is he improved, or did the team improve?
Not really.
Norman Powell gets extra credit for backing up the shit he was talking the preseason too.
Addition by subtraction.
Paul George leaving. That's crazy to say because Paul George is your second best player.
He didn't take no slight of it.
All-star player, for sure.
PG wasn't offended?
No, he said he didn't take no slight.
He shouldn't. I think like you're an NBA player, especially like Norman Powell. You're 30 years old. You've had this one role for this long. Like you want to show if I get the opportunity, I can do this. So I don't think I respect Paul George.
And if it's Norman Powell, he's talking about himself. I came up because you're gone.
Yep.
It's obvious.
So for me, the real MIP guys are someone like Norman Powell. I think Christian Brown deserves to be in a conversation. He's averaging 16.
Yes.
He's giving you way more than KCP gave you.
So is Grady Dick out of this conversation
He's
for
a
you?
second-year player.
Yes.
He's taking
First
a
year was
noticeable
rocky.
jump, so I can see it.
But I'll say this in my preseason analysis. Of course, March and April, you kind of take with a grain of salt, but he showed flashes. He really shot the hell out of the ball.
Because the beginning of the season, he was terrible. Like, he got injured, I think, for some time, but he was averaging like 5, 6 a game. But March and April, he was like
I
13,
expected
12.
a jump from him. This? Hell no.
I'd consider Grady Dick. Like, Evan Mobley's in the top 10. He's averaging 18 and 8. I mean, what the fuck? He did that shit last year. So I just don't understand. And
the offense has been
I know.
I ain't like the disrespect. It was a little aggressive.
I'm just saying, most improved player.
Usually you're taking like an 8 point per game jump.
He be taking that shit up the court now.
In my opinion, the NBA needs a comeback player of the year.
Dehls, we're coming.
What do you mean by that?
I'm telling you about Boston. We're coming.
Mobley's out today. You guys gonna win? You guys crazy.
No, my guys we're here. Yeah. Listen, brother. We're 13 and 0. Who cares if we lose?
That's a fact.
The NBA needs a comeback player of the year for players like LaMelo Ball. Because LaMelo Ball, we've known that he has this offensive talent to be one of the
on the Bulls.
to be one of the best scorers in the league. But he was a top 3 pick. He's an all-star. We know that he's an amazing level of player. SGA, prior to the injuries that kind of kept him off the floor when he was early in his career with Oklahoma City, he was averaging 23, 24 a night. He was a great player. He was just injured. Why was he in consideration for MIP? Because he took a jump, even though we kind of saw that progression in him. A player like you mentioned, Norman Powell, Christian Brown, even Grady Dick, who I understand is in his second year, but going from 7 points, really not being a focal point at all, to being one of the most important players on your team, that to me is most improved.
Yeah, like, and Evan Mobley is no slight. The numbers are just similar from last year. I know he's playing better. If most improved player this year actually makes more sense for a guy like Darius Garland comparatively to last season. He's the one who's really taking the most jump on the Cavaliers, and he's giving them that extra offensive spark. My MIP is like, if I were to do a top 5, top 6 list, Norman Powell, I would have in there Christian Brown, Benedict Mathurin, I think, is taking a sizable jump. It's kind of getting wasted and under the radar because Tyrese Halliburton is playing terribly right now. And
still.
Dyson Daniels.
He had that one bounce back game against New York.
Knicks.
They got
He's
loud
having
in my
a good game
mentions.
right now.
Yo, they got really loud in my mentions. I won't lie.
Yours?
They got loud.
What'd you say?
Because the overrated tweet.
Oh, okay.
And then the game after, people started back in my
terrible,
mentions, liking the tweet.
He's playing
again.
good right now?
Yeah, he's
Who
got
they
like
playing?
16.
Hallie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Who they
So
playing?
Dyson Daniels and then Payne Pritchard, I think, would round it out. I think Grady
Shout out
Dick
to
deserves
Pritchard.
consideration, but he's a rookie going into his second year, so that's why I think it kind of knocks him down a peg. But still, like, he's in the conversation. But those are guys that I think of like most improved player. Even someone like freaking Jay Huff. You know, you're on the Grizzlies and you're just playing well out of nowhere. Like, even though he won't win it, like,
Demons.
those are the guys you consider for the award. Like, guys who really came from nothing and then they're now like making a contribution that nobody expected.
I have this blindly ranked. I think it's really fun. I think we should do it.
All
Do
right.
it.
All right, let's do it.
This week in the NBA. We're moving on. You guys, anything to talk about MIP?
Now,
Bilal Coulibaly.
hold on. Because prior to the season, odds-on favorite to win MIP was?
Probably Victor.
It was Victor Wembanyama. Now, I say that where, early in the season, conversation about him being overrated, or we're putting him in conversations way too soon, questions about his defensive IQ. Now, I say this where in almost every single stat through 13 games, he's been better in almost every single aspect of the game, averaging more points per game, more efficient from both the field and three-point range. Because why are you taking so many threes, Victor? You're 7'5", get in the paint. Fair. But when you shoot the ball, especially the last 6 games, the way that Victor Wembanyama has been shooting the ball, you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. And what makes you special is that you're able to do so. He's been the best shot blocker in the league, better than last year so far. The defensive rating is lower for the Spurs when he's on the court than it was last year. The offensive rating's higher this year than it was last year. Makes you think. Maybe he is improved. Maybe he isn't overrated.
He's amazing. I don't think this is Wemby shouldn't get fucking most improved.
Of course not. I just more so am here to highlight after his 50-point performance, albeit
crazy.
against
who
not
gives
the
a fuck?
greatest
It's
competition.
50.
It is the
50
Wizards.
is
Second year
50
player, man.
is 50
You know who had 40
in
in that
the
game?
national basketball. Jordan Poole.
fucking
I was here.
Poole.
I was watching that game like hell. But my lord,
up too soon.
and he had 43
Warriors.
Cook. Nice.
I gave up. Oh, the
No, he's
Warriors.
saying the Warriors
100%.
did.
Oh, yeah.
No, they didn't. I take my pound back. Oh.
No, they did. Pods stink. But you know what?
Victor Wembanyama has been awesome.
Victor had 43 through 3
Yeah, he cooked.
quarters. It's just something to take in. Just something to sit with.
No, I'm taking
Because
it
you
in.
did pick your side. But the defensive IQ shit I will always attach to you. Sorry.
I mean, just because you block a lot
You
of
want
shots.
to know why I attached it to you? Because you had the fans talking like they knew something.
I'm sorry.
No, I think it's a lot to take in. Wemby's also massive, so that it's a lot of things that are going on.
He
in the
is
court.
enormous.
Wow. You didn't have to say it like that.
Long.
But I think this is what
What if it's
happens
little?
when
No way.
That'd be a generational failure.
what happens when you bring an all-time great point guard player to your team, and Chris Paul.
Savon Castle's been starting lately.
And he's been good. But Vassell also coming back. Nice boost.
Yep.
No, I think Wemby. Listen, the defensive conversation, like Wemby's a great defender. Nobody ever said he wasn't a great defender.
They call him overrated.
I think yes, because the odds for a lot of these sports books already had him as the DPOY,
I'm fine with
and
it.
not even
Draymond's
DPOY,
the
not
defensive player of the
even
year.
plus money, not even plus money to win the
Like a
award.
minus.
Not
I'm
even
talking about
minus 100.
minus.
It'd be like minus
Because in year
500,
one,
bro.
he finished second place. It makes sense.
And he's gonna have like 5 fucking.
Because
bucks.
that's
they're
why
gonna,
I
they're
think
gonna glaze. You
and
know
the
what I mean? Like
steals, bro. He be in them lanes.
It's the blocks and the
that's
steals.
why I
They call me
believe
a
that.
stock merchant. Watch the fucking game.
That's why I believe he was overrated defensively. It's not that he wasn't a great defender.
Now
It's
the
just
defensive
that
ratings pairing.
people talked
Because
about
I know
him.
you care about that, Riv.
No, that
great,
matters.
yeah.
But people talked about him like he was the best defensive player in basketball. But I think it's pretty clearly Draymond
Did
Green.
I ever say that? Did I say he was undisputed number one? Never. Never.
You tried to put him at one.
No, I did not. Don't lie now. Because I'm not lying on your name.
I don't remember.
You can't.
I'm not lying on your name.
You should. I do it all
Draymond
the
Green
time.
doesn't get
I
the
didn't
stock
say he was
numbers that
better than
Wemby
AD.
has.
I didn't say he was better than Bam. I didn't say he was better than Draymond. Who I may have said he was better than was the 4-time DPOY and Rudy Gobert. And what the hell has he done?
Won it.
No, I mean this year.
He won it last
Okay.
year.
Doug Gobert hasn't done shit this year. The Timberwolves look bad right
Well,
now.
defensively, when he's on the court, they're still really great. It's
Yeah,
when he's
I mean,
off.
Wemby this year, their defense is a top 10 unit.
Who have they played? No true.
Well, they played the Mavericks.
But to be fair, they're
played
worse
the
than
Rock-
every team they're
played the
playing.
Rockets. OD. They played the
I
Kings.
want to know who they played good defense
They
against.
played the Kings.
They beat the
They
Kings,
smoked
right?
no by
The
20
Kings can't
points.
even shoot.
I'll be
right
honest,
now.
bro. Their top 10 defense with this caliber of
it's
roster,
fucking
I
lit.
don't really care who you played.
I'll be honest though.
Yo, easy. Because this last 2 minutes that you've had, you've been undermining the Spurs and what Victor Wembanyama.
There's no undermining.
I'm just saying,
I'm very
They'll get
sensitive
Cooper
when it
flag
comes
and
to
they'll
this.
be great. They'll feel great about it.
Spurs?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why I believe that he
might
was
be
just
all-
overrated. It's just that people kind of penciled him in as the best defensive player in basketball.
Wemby and Cooper flag.
Yo,
Fuck it.
imagine.
Stephon Castle.
And
please add his
Stephon
name.
Castle. Bro,
And
then all
Stephon-
three
you know
of
I'm a
us are
Stephon
here.
Castle fan.
Bro, all three, because you have Stephon.
He has what?
He's got Stephon.
you know I'm a fan
I
of
didn't
Stephon Cas-
stutter.
I
the
gave
one-
him
No,
that.
you
the
didn't.
one guy
you
I
don't,
said
you
I was
don't
a fan
know
of
every
Stephon
player.
Castle.
Dehls.
You don't
Wait,
get
okay,
7
okay,
players
Dehls,
every
Dehls.
draft.
Keep it 100 though. Did I not give you Castle?
He gave you?
I don't feel like he's mine.
Well, you know what I'm
just
saying?
a
Like,
fan of his.
I was like, yo, like,
I told you the one
Enough
player
of
in
the
this draft I
noise.
love is Stephon Castle.
Yes,
That
that's
was my
it.
guy.
That's
you
it.
can't take him from
No,
me.
bro, he gets one. He has
We
one
can
player.
we
He
get him
gets
together.
All right, can I
We can
finish the
share
statement?
Stephon Castle,
Yeah,
bro.
like that-
You
that
got
was my
Cooper
guy.
Flag because you said
Yeah, I
wherever
got
he
him
goes, I'm
too.
staying like
I got him
exactly.
too.
Like, bro, you're
I be here.
shameless.
I be here. You can't be mad because I be here. I be here.
He's not wrong because he's known about Stephon since UConn.
I be here, bro.
Well, I
Can
knew
you
about
get
Stephon
off?
about UConn too. That's
It's a fact. I've
honestly
been
one of the
talking
reasons
highly
he was
about him.
a
No,
fucking
because
watching
I
March
just
Madness.
think that
I know.
if he's watching him from high school and college
I was
and he's
watching high
tapped
school.
in,
Watch him at UConn in like the.
like I feel like he can say that they're
You can't
their
take
guy.
Cooper from me. I've been watching him.
I don't think that he should just root for
Seems
the
like
teams
11.
moving forward though. But
No, I'm still gonna do that. That's never.
I mean, eventually you're gonna root for every team in the NBA.
I promise you, it won't ever get to a
Low
point.
key, you've been cutting down teams more than that.
Yeah, I'm not getting to a point where I'm gonna root for the Lakers.
Dude,
sorry.
we have
You
Cam
were when
Reddish.
Cam Reddish was there when he first
But
got
even
there.
then, I still ain't really
He
even.
said
doing
we're
it.
here,
He's
Laker
been,
Nation.
he's been giving us
Troll. I trolled.
minutes.
Trolled.
And
Boston
minutes.
definitely is not getting me.
No,
we
we
don't
don't
want you.
Boston. Brooklyn's not getting me.
I was here
either.
for a year, sadly.
Brooklyn can't
That
get me
2022 shit was a movie.
Nah, Boston got too many players I hate.
You're an idiot.
So you had
Tatum?
a gripe with him talking about Stephon Castle. Who
I hate
else?
Brown.
No.
for sure.
Why do you hate Jalen Brown?
Huh?
Yeah. No, because
No.
you say
Yeah,
he
hit that left
you
hand.
can't,
I'm
you
getting
can't have
insensitive.
7 players.
Oh my God, no! It's just every draft he always has a
fuck,
group
I watch
of
it,
players.
bro.
It's
It's like the fucking, it's like the
know.
full lottery in like half of the second round. I'm like, damn, bro. Like, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it, man. Sorry. I'll be cutting down though. Like I cut Utah.
he wasn't letting me finish. Like he gets Stephon, I got Wemby, he gets Cooper. Like we're the trifecta
I
here.
said, but I wanted to make it clear that even if Cooper doesn't go there, I'm still there.
That's
So
fine.
That's
But
all.
I was living in a scenario like where we all
No, Cooper, yeah.
you have to find someone on the Spurs so it could be like pick
Chris
sides.
That's already Chris Paul. He's there.
Facts.
He might become head coach.
We need a young guy.
Brother, he's gone.
Hey, prayers
You
for
fuck with
Pop,
Shohan?
man.
Shohan is good. I like him.
I don't fuck with him.
It's
do
not
this
like
blind
not
ranking.
a fan.
Fuck.
We're
Yeah.
good.
Before you do that blind ranking, I just want to say, talking about being hip to movements. What about Dave Blunt's?
Next question.
I mean, Dave Blunt's is going viral right now on
It's
Twitter.
funny, bro.
Apparently.
You showed me Dave Blunt's like 4 fucking months ago. I'm like, there's no way you're being dead ass. And now I see him
He's huge.
everywhere.
He's huge. Georgiana, you guys tapped into that? Drake follows her. She's kind of solid.
Is she a rapper?
Yeah.
R&B?
Yeah, no rap. I played music for her after we got off the show. You're not gonna enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Drake
Weirdly.
follows her, so I don't know.
Am I gonna enjoy it?
It's fucked up because I'm just no. I'm on Instagram and I'm listening to it. I'm just like, all right, this is kind of catchy. I'm fuck with this. I go to her page, followed by Champagne Poppy. I'm just like, okay, well,
How many followers do you have?
He's too tapped
like
into everything.
100K. Yo, I'll give him. I've always given him that acknowledgement. He is early on waves. He was early on Ice Spice, and then shit kind of went south.
Yeah, he
talking
has
to
to.
Europe
He has to
already.
find
Chief Keef.
flows to steal. That's what he
Hey,
got to
you
do.
think we're getting Dirk's album next week?
No, we're getting it. I'm locked.
It still says coming soon, 11/22 on
Brother,
Apple Music.
I promise we're getting it. Like I'll put my life on it.
That we're gonna get the
We're
album.
getting the album.
I don't know,
He put out too much heat early to not get that album.
bro. He's facing a fucking murder
He
for
can
hire
still put out
charge.
the album.
He can still
I
put
just
out
feel
the
like
album.
if you're going
Young
through
Thug
a
was beating the
court-
case, putting the album.
Now he was trying to beat a Rico, and he put on now. He's good.
Okay, listen. I hope so.
I feel like Dirk really loved
I
us.
just
He
I
put the
just say
album.
that because last year Polo G was supposed to drop Hood Poet. There was some legal shit happening with him and his brother. It got pushed back. But Polo G also went 3 years without dropping.
He also ain't Dirk.
He's not.
Like Dirk is one of them dudes. So like Dirk love us. So Dirk
I
gonna
love
put
Dirk.
that album out.
Free him.
No, yeah, free him for sure. This blindly ranking young cores in the NBA.
All right, we're back.
Here we go.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Here's the tricky thing. Can't be over 25 years of age.
Okay.
So I want you guys to think about that. First team up. The Portland Trailblazers.
Okay. You got Klingon. You got Shaden.
Yep.
You have Scoot.
Hey, Shaden outperformed Ant the other night. I don't know if you saw that.
They beat them back to back.
to back.
Yeah.
Shaden looked crazy.
I mean, the young core is what? It's
6 names?
It's Scoot,
It's
Shaden,
Klingon.
and
So as
Klingon.
many names. It's 6 teams. Yes,
6
but
teams,
it's as
okay,
many
yeah.
as many
This
of
is
them as
probably,
you want to
I
name.
mean, respectfully, it's probably 5 or 6.
Klingon?
Is a dog. No, he's a dog.
He's moving me so much. Like my
don't know
mind's
if I
getting
can move him
tricked.
more
He's
than
awesome,
5.
but I don't think he's
You're
like
right.
on his own is gonna crack inside the top
Yeah.
four.
But like if Shaden is one, it's one game early.
I
in the
like
season.
Shaden.
I like him a lot. And Scoot,
they don't have any player that's like franchise
Hard
changing.
ties.
I think 5 is the highest.
Klingon can be franchise changing defensively.
What's the difference between this
Like
season
a
and
Rudy
Walker
Gobert
Kessler?
with the Jazz.
Walker Kessler's rookie year now. What he's doing now? I'm not saying that Clinton's gonna be the same thing,
I
but
understand.
I want to go with
Clinton's a
6.
cool-
You need your
connector.
D Mitch to complement your Rudy
How old
Gobert.
is Anthony Simons? Just check that.
He's definitely older than 25, I
Yeah, I
believe.
think so.
I think he might be 26.
I think I'm with you. I think 6 because I think there's maybe 1 or
He's
2
25
cores we want
flat.
to put under them, but that's it.
25 and under.
Yeah,
That's 25 and under.
Oh wait, so he counts.
He counts. Ooh. 25. And what else is under?
I'll be honest. Like if
Maybe 5.
we count Anthony in this young core, then I don't know where the hell Scoot fits in.
Yep.
It's
So
not,
you're
he's out.
adding somebody,
It's
you're
Simons,
subtracting
Klingon,
somebody.
Shaden.
But right now, you don't have to kick him
How
out.
old's Rob Will? No.
I'm going
26,
five.
I think.
I don't know,
for 5.
and I don't even think Simons moves me enough to put them up in the rankings.
It moves him maybe 1 spot.
So 5 or
Maybe
6?
1 spot.
6?
I would still go 6, but if you
I would
guys
say
are gonna
5
go
just in
5,
case
it's
it's
fine.
like Washington. I think I'd like to score more than
I would like
Washington.
Washington more.
Whoa, Washington's
Washington
lit.
more.
Bilal-
6. Thank you. You moved
Bilal,
me.
who-
6.
Who else? Bilal?
No. Jazz. Their young core's not that great.
That might be the only one that's worse.
What's
than
the other 2
Blazers.
names for Washington?
Keyshawn George,
Jordan
Bub, and Sar.
Jordan Poole.
You like
and
that more than
Bilal.
Simon,
Yes,
Jordan
Klingon,
Poole.
and Shaden?
Jordan
A
Poole.
lot more.
nah.
A lot more.
Nah.
A lot more.
Christ.
Jordan Poole
Bilal's a
25.
dog.
I think he might
Bilal, Bub, Sar, Keyshawn George. That 4 is the foundation.
Bilal is honestly a better young
Yes.
piece than anybody the Blazers got.
Agreed.
I think so, but those Klingon has been great in
Respect
his
Bub.
early minutes. Shaden Sharp
Oh,
is
D.
just getting packed, but he's
Yo,
been great.
Bub actually
And
is like a
Simons
do-it-all point guard.
Simons is already a proven like this is a dude that can get you 25 a night.
Bub can get you boards. He's a great playmaker. He is a solid scorer early on in his career.
All right, want to put him 6? Put him 6.
6.
Let's put the Blazers 6.
Okay, thank you very much. Next team up, the Toronto Raptors.
Okay. You
Scotty,
have Grady,
RJ.
Scotty. Is RJ 25?
Yeah, IQ,
25
RJ.
IQ.
You
Love
had
that.
them in
All
there.
right. Hey, listen.
Ochai Agbaji.
Are we thinking 3?
I think that's too high.
Scotty
Is an all-star, can be an all-NBA.
I'm just thinking like Paulo,
13.
like the Magic. I feel like gonna be on here. I'd
Go.
want to have them over.
I
I
got
don't
them
know
at
if he
4.
scripts the
I got them
Magic.
4. I think 4 is valid.
IQ, Grady,
I think 3.
RJ.
I think 3.
I think 4
3.
is
Agreed.
valid.
Cool with
I'm
3.
cool. 3.
There's a
Facts.
lot of good
Because I
young
feel like
cores.
Riz's not gonna give us the best young. I don't think we're gonna get the Thunder.
I
don't
think we
we're
get
gonna the-
legitimately one elite one.
Yeah.
Well, whenever you guys say that, you tends to be right. All right, let's go 3.
Yo, thank you.
Okay, so you got the Raptors sitting pretty at 3. Next team up, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh,
It's Ant.
Jaden and
It doesn't
fucking-
matter.
Is
It's,
Ant
Dillingham?
carrying to
it's
1?
just Ant.
Like, is he carrying? No.
Rob. What
he
happened to
can-
Rob?
Rob Dillingham, he's going to get minutes soon. He'll
Oh,
play.
that might have
gonna
fallen.
get
Yeah, we got him.
So it's Ant, it's Nas Reed, it's Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
he might
it's
be 26.
Jaden McDaniels.
Double check.
No, Nikhil Alexander-Walker, I think, fits
should know.
I mean,
within that age
Ant
range.
alone makes this
I
so
know.
fucking high.
Like, we have to put it 2 because of Ant.
2 or 1.
I think we leave that spot. Trust we get
Okay,
someone else.
I'm with that. I'm with 2.
What do you think, Joel?
Oh, these fuckers.
Well, ideally, this would have been 3rd. I think this was a great 3rd spot. But yeah, we can't put them behind the Raptors because even if it's just Ant is over everybody on
Ant
the Raptors.
and Nas. Nas really moves the fuck out of me. I'm going to.
Jaden McDaniels is also under 25. If anybody's thinking about
No one
that,
really cares about him.
Nikhil Alexander is too, right?
26.
He is
He
okay.
just
He
turned
didn't fit in
26.
there.
I'm still putting him 2.
Yeah. Listen, it's Anthony Edwards. Timberwolves over the Raptors is 2.
Dante's over 25 too.
He might be 27.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand. Even
I'll
if
double
he
check.
was.
Here we go. He is
so bad.
27.
They said power friendship's real.
Yeah. Okay. Next team up. Let me erase the Timberwolves. We said them. The Chicago Bulls.
5. Kobe, Io, Giddy, Patrick Williams.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got to be 5.
Probably could have flipped Loki. This is not that good. Kobe's carrying.
He is carrying.
He's
but
carrying.
Shit. Would you rather have Klingon or Kobe?
And Powell's under 25.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
But he's not.
No,
good.
I know.
Yeah, no.
He's probably like.
I'm trying to think
21.
of young players.
He's like him,
Yeah, outside
Kobe,
those four, I
man.
don't really know.
him,
else
Kobe,
coming
Io, Matisse,
Oh, facts.
and
Buzelis.
then pretty much it.
All right, 5.
5.
Could have been 2.
Mataj Buzelis, I mean, depending on how he develops,
Yeah, he's 5.
this
They're
young
fine.
core could be good.
They're 5.
Oh man, you have
So far, we're chefing. I'm just saying we're
good.
chefing.
So far, we're good.
You guys are doing really good. I love this.
The Blazers one still higher.
Next team up, the Houston
this-
Rockets.
This is the last team, isn't it?
No,
We have 1 in.
you have
1
two
and
more
4.
spots, and you
1 and 4.
It can't go 4.
You got JG, Amen, Tari. You have Şengün. What more do I need?
You have
baby?
an opportunity
You have
here
Cam Whitmore,
to
you have
really
Jabari,
fuck
who
your
hasn't
thing
been
up or
great,
really kill your thing.
The thing is, they can't be 4, but it's just like, is the thunder there? Is the magic there?
You have
You know
an
what,
opportunity
then?
here to fuck
You know
it up
what?
or
You know what
cook.
then? He's not giving us the Jazz. You're not like that. Let's say we go 4. Let's say we go 4.
We're also admitting them over the Raptors by doing that.
And we fucked up. Simple. Simple.
Or the Raptors over them, I should say.
We fucked up. And I apologize to you. We fucked up there, but I think we bite the bullet and take a chance on. Do we get. Hold on. Now let's really sit and think about this like men.
Okay.
OKC,
OKC. Dallas, does it count?
Orlando,
Orlando, more importantly.
Yes.
Memphis.
Indiana.
I can hear that one too.
There's a lot of teams that he. I mean, we have basically the whole NBA at our disposal.
You know what?
Also,
Here's,
like
here's the
5
thing.
Teams.
We could say the Rockets, we can convince ourselves, 1, top 3 defense, top 7 offense. Hey, they're starting to really blossom. Do we go that one route?
It's a great young core. It really just is. It depends on what Riv's gonna say next. Honestly,
So let's go 4 then.
That's what blind rankings are, man. It's crazy.
4?
Listen.
Take a
Take the
shot?
lead. Take the shot.
we just figured out this groundbreaking concept.
Take 4.
If he.
He's gonna give us one.
All right. 4 it is.
Here we go. So, blindly ranking young
Don't be the
cores.
Jazz, don't be the Jazz,
At
don't be the
number
Jazz, don't be the
6, my brothers put the Portland Trailblazers. At number 5 is where we put my former team, the Chicago Bulls. At number 4 is where we rock out my brothers, the Houston Rockets. Number 3, the Raptors.
Mistake.
Number 2, Minnesota. And number 1, sitting nice and pretty, I love the respect, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay.
Toronto at 3, only thing that fucked you.
Yeah, that
Hey,
was good
apologize.
though. We took
It's
that.
Rockets 2, Timberwolves 3, and then Raptors.
But I'm not
4.
mad at it because if we would have put Houston 1, they have the depth of the core, but they don't have that one like Ant Edwards. We got John Moran. At least we have
Raptors was fucking
some
you no matter
comparable.
what. That's what it was.
Yeah. They just have a lot of players, you know? I think that's what the young core moved me like that. They got a lot of young players that are actually good.
I had to double check. Jaren and Ja are sitting pretty at 25.
25 each.
Yep.
Love
So
that.
that was your This Week in the NBA, Riff?
Yeah. That was
Okay,
it.
nice. So my This Week in the NBA is that this is this new concept the NBA is coming up with. Shams
this.
reported on it. The NBA is in serious discussions on a new tournament style format for the 2025 All-Star Game, consisting of 3 All-Star teams of 8 players each and the winner of the Rising Stars game, sources told ESPN on Friday. The 4 teams would face each other in matchups, for instance, Team 1 versus Team 3 and Team 2 versus Team 4, and the winners move on to the final round of the tournament. How do you feel about this new 2025 All-Star Game format where there's going to be 4 teams, one of those teams being from the Rising Stars team, and the other 3 teams having 8 players on it each? Do you feel better about the All-Star format? Do you think it's going to change it in any way?
I am hurting hearing this personally. As you guys know,
Are they full games? Sorry. Or is this still full games? Just
I
tournament
fucking
style?
hope not.
All I know is that it's basically a 2-round tournament.
Probably like King of the
It's like game 21 or something.
Yes, it's a 2-round tournament. You know, obviously the first round and the second round's for the championship, I guess, of the All-Star Game, whatever.
It's a cool concept, especially having the Rising Stars players in, because I feel like they're going to try really hard and it's going to force the actual All-Stars to try really hard. But I mean, the best part of the All-Star Game is you have, I always liked East versus West. The drafting was cool too, but to split it up into like 4 different games, I feel like you're not going to get the same feel of it because you're going to get into the championship and you're going to be missing half of the All-Stars. You're not going to have the best players. I mean, either way,
What if the Rising
probably not gonna
Stars get in
watch.
there?
If the Rising Stars get in there, it's going to be 100% because one of the teams of the 3 All-Stars did not try.
Yeah, they
That's why.
trolled.
it's horrible. It hurts me to hear this. I love the All-Star Game. It's one of my favorite events, sporting events of the year. They've ruined it these last couple, and it's been terrible to watch. And now this new concept where now we're bringing in the Rising, or what is it, Rising Stars?
The Rising Stars.
I
The
kinda like
young
that.
ones. The
I
young
like
ones.
that.
I don't hate it, but give me the best of the best going up against each other again if they're all put a target score, lock in, make it for a good amount of money, and have them really try and show who's the best of the West and the East.
Swear to God, I'd rather just watch Tatum Brown play one-on-one for 48 minutes. I'll be honest. Give me that over the All-Star game.
I saw Halliburton and Obama in this little like mini interview, and Barack Obama was kind of like going at him because he was like, "Yo, bro, the All-Star game sucks. You guys don't try at all." And I think it really just like I don't know how to feel about it. Like I feel like I guess I respect the fact that they're trying to make it semi-competitive. But I'm very old-fashioned. I love the East versus West concept. You know, I don't even care for the drafting part. Just the 12, 15 guys make the West, 12, 15 guys make the East. Go at it, play hard, you know, see who's the best conference. I feel like us having to do so much to get these guys to care about the All-Star game is probably the reason why we should stop doing that and why these shits keep getting worse. Like, we shouldn't have to keep changing up the concept. Listen, if LeBron, Steph, and KD don't give a fuck, nobody's going to give a fuck. That's really how it is.
And I think it's going to take one of those guys to set the standard. Like, obviously, they're on their way out of the league, but the people that set the standard before were the Kobe Bryants of the world that made it ultra competitive and had a lot of pride in competing in the All-Star game. It's going to have to be one of these young guys that takes that pride and leads the new wave. And I don't see any player like that. Anthony Edwards is often praised for his competitiveness. And him, when he was asked about the All-Star game, he said, nobody tries. So why am I going to try? Like, you know, he basically shrugs off the All-Star game too. So at this point, I don't know what they could do.
How do you make it competitive? Like, what incentive is there that would make the players really give a fuck?
The only way, and it gets kind of unfair, is if you have the winner of this game host the finals.
Like the MLB did
Correct.
for a while. Yeah.
And honestly, that baseball game was electric every single year.
But also, like, if you're the fucking all-star from the Wizards, are you really going to try? I mean, obviously you're not going to get playing time, but
probably won't.
It's like there's going to be some teams that are like, we're not.
You're going to see those basketball players play their fucking ass off, though.
That's true because, I mean, all of them are probably going to think, if I'm one of the best players in the world, I have a chance to go to the finals.
Maybe not the finals. Maybe you could do like whoever. If like say for example, I'm Tyrese, right? Halliburton, because you know this probably would never happen. So we could throw this hypothetical in the air. Say I'm Halliburton, I get in the game and I magically have 30 points against the opposing West, right? And my team wins. Maybe not host the finals because they may not make it, but definitely host the first round of the playoffs. Like no matter what seed you are. Or what, you know, like if you're under, like if you're a 7 seed playing a 2 seed, you get home court advantage.
Well, how would that work? Because if you're a 7 seed, like everyone in the East wins. If you're a 7 seed, you're supposed to get home court. If you're a 2 seed, you're supposed to get home. You know what I mean?
I just feel like
I don't know.
The reason why like all these
sense that I'm thinking about.
We're just brainstorming, so it's okay. But like the reason why a lot of these things are really like it sucks is because now you just lessen the regular season. If you add an incentive to the All-Star game that has some type of playoff implications or finals implications, you now lessen the regular season product, and that's something the NBA already is struggling with. I think at this point, they tried to do the captains thing. At this point, I feel like the NBA just themselves, they have to, once we have all the All-Stars, they have to say, we're going to make up the teams and we're going to put the players on opposing teams that dislike each other, that we know dislike each other. Like, for example, Giannis and Jalen Brown will be on separate teams. Like you just got to try to split the people up that genuinely don't like each other, and maybe you bring out competitiveness out of them because of something like that. But right now, like it just sucks. It's not a
one-on-one, man.
One-on-one be fun.
The All-Star games. I had one-on-one.
When Tatum and Brown go one-on-one, that wasn't the best moment of the night?
No.
Okay.
Just give it up, bro.
Not at all, actually.
That shit was trash. But if we see like a situation
Steph
where Devin Booker versus D. Mitch, 2 guards battling, or like we see like Steph versus Kyrie, like just like, or Jalen Brown versus Donovan Mitchell or whoever, like Jason Tatum versus Kevin Durant, like just one-on-one. Yeah. You know, seeing where that goes. I feel like that'd be so much funner. Let it go, bro. Like, I know you want to just let it go.
No, I'm saying we saw what happened when KD and Tatum played in 2022.
That was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Now he's better.
What are we doing? Yo, did you see Jalen Brown tweet Nike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like...
So y'all got weird energy.
Bro, it's too serious all the time. Tell him to crack a fucking smile.
I mean, to be fair, Giannis elbowed this man in the face. He went to dap him, and it's not fake crazy. If I elbow you in the face, and
I
you
didn't see
get
the elbow.
up,
I didn't see the elbow. I just
Nah,
saw the video.
and you get up, and I'm like, oh my bad, bro, and I go like this. You're not gonna be sick.
I'm be dumb. I didn't know the elbow. I didn't know it was. Nobody said anything about the elbow
Yeah,
part.
that's what happened after or before the fucking.
Oh yeah, they were just like, you did it. And it was just like, bro, crack a fucking smile. It's an NBA regular season game. Going mad hard.
My this week in the NBA, I wanted to give the people a voice. Not because I didn't come with one today, but I want to give the people a voice.
You tweeted, I didn't come with one today.
I said, let me know what you want to hear on This Week in the NBA. Would you rather, something like that. And shout out to our guy, NY Knicks 04, Brunson MVP coming soon.
Oh, my
wants
guy,
to hear-
Mike. Money Mike.
Money Mike. He wants to hear a Karl Anthony Towns Would You Rather. Arguably the best player on the Knicks so far this season.
He has been.
First name up, Bam Adebayo.
What we doing
Karl Anthony Towns.
right now?
Right?
It's Cat.
Would you rather?
It's Cat.
I would still rather Bam.
Even though like Cat is great as he's been offensively, the defense has been equally as bad on the other end.
It's kind of like they're the same dude. Like Bam's great defensively, the offensively,
And what would you rather?
defense.
The
Bam.
guy that can give me 26 a night.
Give me Bam.
Next. Sorry.
I'm taking Cat.
Okay. Think I would take Cat too. Sabonis.
Sabonis.
You want to take the guy that's giving you 26 a night?
Nope.
I
Sounds like
would take Cat.
Take Cat.
I think we do have to start talking about Sabonis in a different light.
Thank you.
He's shooting much better this year. He's an awesome
Cat's been a better
playmaker.
offensive
He's
player.
an elite
You're a
rebounder.
fucking casual.
Cat's been a
Cat's
better
been-
offensive player
Cat's
this
Do you want to
year.
know why you're a
this year.
casual? You wanna
Cat's
know
been
why
a
you're a
better
casual?
offensive player this year.
He's been a better scorer. He hasn't been a better playmaker.
Fair.
sure.
He's been a better. No. I don't. Sabonis playmaking.
He
You
is
know
the
what?
kind of-
Never mind.
And he's
Never
stretching.
mind.
You
Never
guys
mind.
asked him to shoot the three ball.
Cat's
And what
been
has been doing?
stretching for
He's
a
been their
decade.
best 3-point shooter this season.
That's bad on them. Not
I think
really.
I give a fuck.
That's kind of
All
bad
I
on
care
them.
about is DeMontis.
I mean, that's really Keegan's fault. DeMar's not no sniper, you know. So I'm not. You know,
Sabonis has been shooting the shit out of the ball.
Cat's been doing that for like 6 years.
He's Karl Anthony Towns.
I agree with you.
Yeah, this is tough. This is a tough one.
I mean, right now I'd go Cat.
I'm gonna go Cat too.
Next name, Chet Holmgren.
He's hurt,
Chat.
but I'd go Chat.
Chet.
When he's healthy.
This guy hates Chet.
I don't hate Chet. I'm just liking what Cat's doing. I'm gonna go with Chet Holmgren.
Do we think this is from Cat sustainable? Like I feel
Yes.
like Brunson wakes up. I think he'll dip a little bit.
I mean,
in
I don't know.
points.
Cat's he's going for 40 and shit against the
that's true.
Bulls.
Cat when he plays the 5, he's a 25 guy, point per game kind of guy.
Okay. Well, he's 25 right now, right?
Yeah.
What's Brunson at? Like 21,
22,
22?
something like that. He hasn't been.
I feel like if Brunson wakes
thing
up
is,
to
he's
like
still, but
29,
he's still taking his shots. He's just not hitting them.
that's a fair point. Yeah.
I think Brunson's actually higher than
Maybe
that.
a little higher. Maybe I'm low bowling.
I think you are actually. Give me 1 sec to make sure. He's averaging 24.
Oh, okay. So I was 2 off.
Yeah.
Next
All right. Next name, Evan Mobley. I would take Mobley.
Fucking Mobley. I'm thinking twice about it. Best.
Not thinking twice about it.
No, Evan Mobley's arguably.
Like if you were to ask me if I'm the Knicks, if I like trade Cat right now for Mobley,
You would do it
I would
in a
do it.
heartbeat.
Yeah, heartbeat.
Evan Mobley's arguably the best defender in the world.
Yeah, he's OD. Give me Evan.
Alperen Şengün.
Ooh.
Karl Anthony Towns.
I would take Cat.
You would wait, but you took Sabonis.
I said what I said.
Interesting.
Sabonis
Cat.
is better than Şengün.
You don't think Şengün can be what Sabonis
No.
is?
I
I think
It's not
Sengun's
better.
playing at a high level right now.
Şengün's not better than him.
No, I'm saying he could be down the
So
road.
they're like right
know.
there. They're not like off brand. They're kind of like right there.
Nah.
The playmaking Sengun's much better at. I guess
Much better?
as a play. Yes, you're not. I don't care what Sabonis doesn't move me with the just little.
handle.
It's- yeah,
Shut
like, that's
up.
it.
It's
That's
not
it.
even true.
It is. It
no,
literally is
no,
true,
it's
bro.
not.
Alright.
It's not.
I feel like Sengun is.
And you wanted him to shoot the 3 ball, and now he's doing it. So stop.
No, I didn't say anything about that. I feel like Sengun
You've just been quiet
and
about it.
Sabonis. You know when I'm wrong. I'm quiet.
I know. So I just have to let you know.
Okay. Well, Sengun and Sabonis, I feel like is same tier.
I
Down
think
the
Sabonis
stretch,
is better.
give me Sabonis.
Like,
But
but
I
don't-
think Şengün. I think Şengün could be.
I think
just
by
good
the end of the
Sabonis.
year, I don't think it's crazy to say Sengun was probably better. So
I'm going with Cat.
Next name,
You're just making sure I remember it. Got it.
Kristaps Porzingis.
well, hasn't played all year. So
Cat.
give me Cat.
I would take KP.
I would also take KP.
You get some really good rim protection.
I just don't know if he'll
He
play.
doesn't play.
Yeah,
But when he plays, he's good.
Yeah, but he has the luxury of being on a stacked team, so
they
where it
actually won a
doesn't
ring.
matter
and
that he
played
misses
5
games.
games in that run.
When he plays, he's awesome.
Yeah.
If
He, no, when he
Kristaps-
plays, he's fucking awesome.
so good.
You cannot rely on KP. If KP was on the Knicks right now, you'd be like, wow, this is a disaster. You have one of your top 3 players not
Yeah,
playing at
unfortunately,
all.
health is holding him back.
But
Yeah,
Karl
give
Anthony
me
Towns,
Porzingis
prior
on.
to now this season, he's been healthy. Yeah, listen, he was put
He's a lot
the
healthier
tag
than
of
KP.
injury prone as well.
Next name, Jaren Jackson.
Cat.
Ooh.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Ooh.
Jaren's been playing well this year, though.
He's been playing great.
Ooh, this one's actually a sneaky one.
I like what Jaren gives you defensively.
He's been playing well this year.
Give me Jaren.
I think I would go Jaren too.
me
Defense
Jaren.
moves me.
I think I'm going Jaren Jackson Jr.
got it.
as well.
Got it.
I only got 1 or 2 names left here. Laurie Markkinen.
Laurie is one of my favorite complimentary pieces. He's been banged up to start this year too,
Give me
which I
Cat.
give him fair.
I think
I'm gonna go Cat.
I would go Cat.
Yeah, give me Cat.
I'm gonna take Laurie.
That's actually the last name I had.
Bro, lied to us.
All right. We had a nice conversation about most improved players. So let's blindly rank most improved candidates. First name up,
There we go.
Austin Reeves.
How many names? 5, 6?
Come on, 6. We stay on brand.
5.
Oh, we're doing a blind ranking? Sweet. 6.
I'm not even opposed to 6.
How much is Austin Reeves
What
moved?
did he improve at?
What is he like realistically? What's he jumped to? Can we look up what he's jumped to?
You are disgusting.
I'm just genuinely asking.
I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
You watch
notice
basketball
I
and you
whispered it.
talk disgusting
I
sometimes.
whispered it. That's why. 4.
Oh, now he's 4. He could've been
Because now he
crazy.
actually has some fucking sense.
Nah, all joking, all trolling
He
aside,
went from
5.
16 to like 18 and a half.
Brother, 5.
I'm cool with 5.
Let's try 5.
I said 5, so yeah.
5.
Reeves,
Like
5.
he's like marginally better than last year, but he's not like taking a leap into
He's
something
honestly
special.
fucking whack, but nonetheless.
Wax.
You're a fucking idiot. Next name up, Tyler Hero.
2.
2.
Okay.
We're on the same
I
wavelength.
like that.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength.
1? Is it crazy?
Let's wait.
I kind of
let's
felt
see.
more like a 3-ish 5, but if you're going with 2, that's fine.
I feel like 2 is the safer one outside of 1 or 3.
Next name up, Christian Brown.
See, like, is he not like 1?
Nah, I'll put Harlow over.
I know
Yeah, I
Harrow's
think-
playing better than him, but in terms of MIP candidate,
I see what you're saying. It's really just we're getting Norm Powell.
That's really what I'm
what it
holding
is.
up on. Or, like,
I'll be cool with Brown at 3.
we could go with 3.
Okay.
okay.
I think him and Hero are definitely debatable.
Okay. Yeah.
Next name up, Dyson Daniels.
4.
1. Oh.
Oh, here we go. Again,
Wait,
Norm
stay-
Powell is. I don't know if you're just going to give it because it's like such an easy one.
Christian Brown's averaging more points than Dyson. He's playing some good defense too. Not as well as Dyson, but
Yeah,
Isn't
Dyson-
Dyson coming off of like 7 last year?
Maybe less.
he is.
Let me see.
Yeah,
But I mean,
he's averaging
let me
14
fact
this year.
check.
the
it
Tyler
first.
Hero pick kind of like jumbled up this blind ranking.
So yeah, what are we doing now? We're doing it based on leaps or just
How they're playing.
yeah?
Well, Tyler low key leap and how he's playing.
That's a fact.
I mean, Dyson went from 6 a game to 14.
I mean, Tyler was a 20-point per game scorer last year. He went up 5 points.
Yeah.
So what do we have open? 1, 4, and 6.
I feel like Dyson should be over Brown.
We do have 1-4, and
Well, we
So
don't have
Dyson
that.
is not going to 6.
No way.
Yeah, so 4. I'm cool with 4. If That's
4?
what you guys
Okay,
want.
we have 1 and 6. Let's see. How
So
this
4,
goes.
Dyson Daniels.
so this is off the level they're playing at.
Okay.
We're
yeah.
gonna disclaimer.
Next name up, Franz Wagner.
6. He's
Since-
been going on a heater since Paulo was out, so respect to him.
I'm fine with 6.
Since Paulo Banchero has gone out,
Yeah, he's been,
He's been
more
great.
aggressive.
But also, if you told me Paulo's out, I'm expecting Franz to pick up the offense production.
I'd say 6. 6 is firm. We might have got fucked at 1, but I feel like Franz at 6 isn't terrible.
yeah.
You agree with this?
not really, but
But no, it's
it's
not
2
that
to 1.
Franz is
He's the
MIP.
best
It's
player
just
on
their
this
best
list.
player is out, so has more offensive responsibility and he has more shots available to him, and he's playing well. I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but I'm not saying like is he in the running for really most improved.
Could you argue the same thing for Tyler Hero then?
Jimmy Butler and Bam are playing.
They nope, both. Well, Jimmy more than Bam.
Jimmy
obviously.
missed like 3 games.
We go Franz at 6.
All right, here we go. So at number 6, Franz Wagner. Number 5, Austin Reeves. Number 4, Dyson Daniels. Number 3, Christian Brown. Number 2, Tyler Hero. And number 1, Jalen Williams, J-Dub.
Oh, fuck. He should have been 6.
He should have, yeah.
Or we should have put Reeves at 6.
Yeah, J-Dub shouldn't be 1.
J-Dub shouldn't have been up here, man.
I'll be honest. I think, yeah, him and Reeves are like bottom 2, and then these other 4, okay, we could talk about.
Yeah.
Don't disagree. I threw J-Dub in there on purpose. I figured like, hey, he's the odds-on favorite. They're gonna call you.
Can't believe he's the favorite.
They're gonna call you crazy because you're like, what do you mean he's gonna win MIP?
I don't know why he's the favorite.
That makes no sense to me.
NFL Pick'em
Here we
Week
go.
11. You know, there are some great games on here that we're going to talk about. Some ones that are not that good that we'll just breeze by. Raiders versus Dolphins.
I'm gonna be taking the Dolphins. They were desperate last week. They pulled it out on the road. Turned me the fuck up.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins in this game too. I'm interested to see how this passing offense attacks the Raiders because actually done a pretty good job. The Raiders kind of, limiting opposing teams' passing attack. But overall, I mean, the Dolphins showed last week they could go into LA, they can win a hostile environment. Now they're at home playing the Raiders. They should win this game.
I like the Dolphins defense. Don't trust the Raiders quarterback play. On defense, they play a lot of man coverage. Dolphins and Tua have been one of the best offenses against man coverage in the NFL this year. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I think Dolphins are going to be a lot more aggressive. They need it more than the Raiders. And I don't know if Tyreek Hill is playing. I saw that
He's
report.
going to play, but he's pushing off wrist surgery.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something that bothers him. But I think just Miami's more desperate and they need to win. So I got Miami.
This is a clean sweep, Dolphins. Next up, Browns versus Saints.
I'm going with, if it's even an upset, I got Cleveland in this one.
It's 50-50 right now.
50-50 is understandable. Both these teams are terrible. I'm just picking Cleveland because I don't want to pick the Saints.
I don't blame you. Saints coming off a pretty big upset, if you ask me. I know it's a division game and it can happen, but shocked me that they beat the Falcons. I'm going to take the Browns in this one. I think that they do have the better, more consistent offense, weirdly enough. This is going to be Nick Chubb's breakout coming back from injury. Really struggled these first 3 weeks. Has a touchdown, but really been wildly inefficient with his opportunity. Has had at least 15 carries in the last 2 games. Has not averaged more than 3.5 per carry. But the Saints defense is one of the worst rush defenses in the league right now. I'm anticipating a breakout. He was my start of the week on the Fantasy Reaction Show. But regardless, I think that with Jameis Winston, we're going to see them really passing the ball, really moving the ball, or, at least we're going to see them try and push the ball down vertically because Jameis does not lack confidence in him. But again, I think that their offense will begin with Nick Chubb and what he's going to be able to do. So give me the Browns.
I got the Browns too, coming off a bye. Not that there's a lot to be hopeful for, but coming off a bye, I think at least gives you advantage, right? You have at least an extra week to prepare over the opponent. And I agree with Drew. He had Nick Chubb as his start of the week. I also had Cedric Tillman and David and Joe for our starts of the week. So a bit terrifying that we're putting all this trust into the Browns offense. But I think that just goes to show how terrible the Saints defense has been, right? Like they got that little coach boost last week, but it's not like they were going out there and just shutting down everything Atlanta wanted to do. They still put up 20 points. They're still able to move the ball basically at will against the Saints defense. So I trust Jameis and company to be able to do the same.
I hate picking any of these teams. The Saints got that head coaching bump. The Browns, it's just tough to trust them because Jameis Winston can always throw 3 interceptions and cost you a game.
Throw 3 touchdowns.
So he could also do that. I think the Browns offense has looked better with Jameis though, and I think their rushing attack, like you mentioned, this is one of the worst run defenses in the NFL the Saints have been, and I think this is Nick Chubb's best game post coming back from that injury. So I got the Browns as well. Colts versus Jets.
I am going with the Jets here. I feel like at some point, you guys have to pick your tails up and start playing like men.
You got to win at some point.
Yeah, at some point, you got to stop going out there and getting embarrassed. I believe you guys are also home, too.
We are home.
So you guys, listen, you need it badly. You're still, percentage-wise, low percentage, probably still in the race. So I got the Jets in this one. I just don't think, even though AR is starting, I think the Colts right now is just, the energy is off over there. The vibes is off. The vibes is off for the Jets, too. But I got the Jets.
Why is there a part of me that thinks that the Colts are going to run all over you guys?
They are.
'Cause they
Jonathan
can.
Taylor's about to go crazy.
But I say that with the idea that they can upset and win this game.
They definitely could,
If the Jets lose versus the Colts,
which is so possible.
I won't know what to say.
So on brand for
I don't think
You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised,
No.
but like every week it gets crazier and
gets worse. It
crazier.
gets
Like,
worse.
what the fuck? When are you going to turn it around?
It gets
Brother,
worse.
it's done.
They're
There is
not gonna turn
is
it
no
around.
Holy
turning it
fuck,
around.
yo,
What
it's
do we
hilarious.
What do we
It only
do?
took
We lost
us-
31-6 to
They
the
went
Cardinals.
from 14 wins to now they might not get to 6.
Shit, I'd be lose fucking all of them, bro. At this
Yo,
point.
do you know what's nuts?
that we don't have a coach.
In my
Or
no,
GM.
Or a quarterback.
The fucking kicker got signed off our practice squad because we didn't elevate him to the roster. There's
You can look
there's
at it.
nobody in New
Who do I
York
have?
who's fucking doing their job.
You can look at it right now. Who do I have? I don't feel good. And being honest, I'd rather be wrong. Give me the Colts. AR, bounce back week, coming back off being benched. Your guys' rush defense is one of the worst in the league.
Terrible.
Give me Anthony Richardson with a bounce back performance and Jonathan Taylor, offensive player of the week. Give me it.
Listen, this is a classic. Quarterback gets benched, he comes back, and he leads the team to victory. We saw that with Bryce Young not too long ago, where he got benched and he
Turning
came
his
back.
back on the Jets. You want to know why he's doing that? Because I picked him. And he doesn't want to spot switch between me. I'm on to him. I'm on to you, Mr. Moran. You're going to go against your New
You would be
York
right
Jets.
only if I opened up the sleep wrap right now I went to my pick'em, and who did I select? I mean, listen, I've been struggling with this matchup because I think the Jets don't have a good run defense. I think the Colts will run on them. But then there's also a lot of reasons to feel skeptical about the Colts. Anthony Richardson still is the most inaccurate quarterback in the NFL. That is a valid concern.
So was Bryce Young until he came back. Just some
not as bad as Richardson.
Food for thought. Some food for thought.
It wasn't as bad as Richardson.
Agreed.
What's given me the Colts faith, oddly enough, because early in the season we kind of just canceled out and we didn't talk about their defense, but it is their defense. I think this defense is really damn good. DeForest Buckner's back. Dayo Odangbo has been their best edge pass rusher even after drafting Latu and having Kwity Paye. They still have those players. Grover Stewart is one of the best run defending defensive linemen in the NFL. And then they got some young corners that are stepping up, like Womack and Jalen Jones and Nick Cross at safety. So, and Kenny Moore's still there. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of trust in this Colts defense, but then I look at the Jets and they play better at home. Aaron Rodgers plays night and day better at home than he does on the road. At home, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. The Jets have played really well on defense at home as well. But then I look at, we just elevated Anders Carlson to kick for us. I don't trust him to make kicks at all. He's so hit or miss. I've seen him so much with the Packers. So there are things that with the Jets, I just can't trust at all. And that's why I don't want to pick them. My gut is telling me the Colts, but my mind is trying to sway me with the Jets because I know what the Jets are. Whenever the Jets are down, the season is over, they find a way to win meaningless fucking games. So I just have a feeling that the Jets are going to win this one, and it's going to be like, damn, we won this shit for nothing. So I'm wrestling with it. Dehls, what are you going with? I haven't made my pick yet.
I'll pick the Jets. I don't know why, but the Colts defense on paper should be good. It hasn't been good, right? Like, I guess they held Minnesota 21 points a couple weeks ago. That was fine. Buffalo scored 30. It's Buffalo. This defense hasn't really impressed me, though. Like, I agree, the talent's there, but they haven't been able to put it together. Shane Steichen, this whole quarterback situation is really just a fucking mess. Like, Joe Flacco was going to start for the rest of the year. Then 2 weeks later, he's not going to start for the rest of the year, and it's Anthony Richardson. So I feel like there's some sort of disconnect there between the quarterback room and the head coach, and I think it comes from the owner. That's really the issue between all of it. But shit, man, I don't know. You get fucking embarrassed. You lose 31-6. It was one of the worst losses fucking in the last couple of years. Have some damn pride. Go out there and try to win a game. I don't really have much rhyme or reason. The Jets suck, but the Colts are also just not that good.
You said that probably 3 times a year. Like, I've had like one of the worst losses.
The Broncos loss was number one. Yeah. This Cardinals loss was bad. It was just like from the first fucking drive, it was over. You know what I mean? Like, it was done right at the end of the first drive. It was over.
So looking at these numbers, the Colts defense EPA per play, they're 14th. They're 13th in success rate. The run defense that was so bad early on in the season, in terms of rush EPA, they're 13th. And success rate, I'm looking at this as
this is on the season, or
this is on the season. They're 14th.
They've locked in.
So they've been a much improved unit this year, and that's why I trust them a little bit more. But there's 3 rookie offensive linemen starting for the Colts. Mm-hmm. Bernard Raymond, their left tackle, is not playing. That rookie left tackle now is going to have the Will McDonald matchup, and Will McDonald has been one of the better edge rushers in the league. Oh, man, this is so tough. I really don't know who I want to pick.
Are you going to be okay with the Jets potentially giving me the top spot in pick'ems? Are you going to be okay with that as a man?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we have like fucking 8 weeks left, bro.
But like, it could be the turning point of like, wow, the Jets fucked me. Like, that was the team that put Drew over the top. Like, that wouldn't hurt Triple.
Not really. The Jets have hurt me so much. There's not much more they can do. I'll be honest.
But then you lose the pick'em belt. Like, to me, that would move me by far the most.
Not really.
Bro, right. He's defeated, bro.
Sounds like
he's defeated.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to this when we recap our things. I got to think about it longer. Vikings versus Titans.
Vikings.
I got Minnesota.
Why do I feel an upset looming?
No, the Titans looked decent last week against the Chargers. Was not expecting them to look like anything. They looked okay.
This is one of those where I'm going to take the Vikings. They're the better team. The Vikings looked like garbage against the Jaguars. Inexcusably was way too close for comfort against the Jaguars. I'm going to take Minnesota because they're the better defense. They're the better team. The defense for Tennessee is really what's the big thing about them. But regardless,
It looked rocky.
they need to bounce back. They need to have a great performance. I think Calvin Ridley's going to have another good game, though.
He should.
I think he's been playing some solid football over these last couple of weeks, few weeks, last 2 of 3 weeks. He's really performed. I'm going to take Minnesota. I don't feel great about it, though. There's part of me that wants to come back to this one.
I just worry because I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball at all. And if they're not going to be able to get Tony Pollard going, we talked about this last night on Fantasy Reaction. Yeah. I do think Brian Flores is going to do a good job just making life hell for Will Levis like he did with Mac Jones last week. Like, they've been susceptible to the pass all season long. But when they're playing bad quarterbacks like Mac Jones and Will Levis, I'm not as worried because I feel like Brian Flores can scheme up things to just make it confusing. And then he shut down Tony Pollard. I do agree, though. I think Ridley's going to get his. Like, he should be able to get 70 yards against this defense, but I don't think it's going to turn into much.
The Titans are 32nd in pressure rate this year. Will Levis has been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. He's even worse when he's under pressure. I think the Vikings should win this game, and I think it should be a bounce back week from last week, and they should win this one convincingly.
You got Minnesota, you said, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, my bad.
I phased out.
You did phase out. Next game up, the Packers versus Bears.
I got the Packers.
I got Green Bay, man. Chicago's in a shit show. Everything is falling down from the hot heavens. I mean, my brother.
New OC bump?
Potentially.
Green Bay.
Thomas Booker.
Green Bay's just coming off a W, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
Coming off a bye?
Was it a bye?
They're coming off a bye, but I
Bye,
think
yes.
they won.
They won the week prior to the bye, if I'm not mistaken.
Or they might have lost to the Lions. It might have
was
been
the Lions.
Yeah.
Lions, then bye. They should be the more prepared team. Chicago hasn't been prepared all year for any game. I like Green Bay's talent. Xavier McKinney has been fake talking shit about DJ Moore.
The interview was dope.
It was awesome.
That was a good ass question of the pre-snap shit.
And I like how you worded
tough.
it. You broke it down.
Yeah.
Like it was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But Xavier McKinney was talking shit to DJ. I don't even think these niggas are gonna respond. That's how down.
Yo, you saw who commented saying that. I can't believe Ray doesn't say it at all on the show.
The restraint that he shows on the podcast, but said it 8 times in 3 seconds. That shit.
Yeah,
You
no.
watch Steph, son takes over you.
No, I'm surprised I actually don't say it a lot on the show because I say it all the time.
You
outside.
think that you're saying something wrong when you say it?
Low key because I can't say any other fucking word I want to say.
This is where. Okay,
but
calm down.
I have
Wonder
Green
where
Bay.
this is going.
You let him into it.
Like Jesus Christ.
But I have Green Bay in this one. I have Green Bay. I will calm down.
I'm gonna take Green Bay here too, but the OC bump is like the devil on my shoulder telling me, "Hey, Drew, what if this guy now suddenly wakes up and Keenan Allen's running slants and staying in the flat, and DJ Moore now has the playbook open up a little bit, and Roma Dunze now takes the top off of defenses." There's a part of me that this guy is speaking very loudly, but if it was against a different team, then I'd listen to him.
Listen, the Bears suck. Like I just think it's simple as that.
The Bears' offense sucks. The defense doesn't suck.
Their run defense is one of the is like pretty bad.
I can hear this.
And
I
this,
can hear that.
Secondary is cool though.
I just look at the Bears and what they've accomplished this season. Like 4-2, cute, right? They beat the Jaguars, and who else did they beat? That was a pretty
Titans.
poor
The
defense.
Panthers.
The
Titans.
Titans. You know,
Week
the teams that they've beat are one of the worst teams in the NFL, and the teams that they barely won,
be fair,
against the Titans,
They were a play away
are not
from
good.
beating the Commanders.
Yeah, I
play away.
guess.
That was the ugly ass play away too.
Yeah, but Caleb, who was terrible, clutched up in the last seconds of the
They
game.
also were shit that game too outside.
You could say that, but I think the Bears fall more in line with a
Just say that
a
the
bottom
defense.
dweller,
Keep 'em out of the end.
not in the hunt team. And I mean, the Packers are playing for something. Like
Yeah.
this is fresh off the bye.
Division
They
game.
have to start coming back and trying to catch up to the Lions and the Eagles in the
Agreed.
NFC first seed race. I'm going with the Packers here. And I think Xavier McKinney, he gets an interception.
Yeah.
X, man.
Nah, X is cool as fuck. I'll say that. He's one of the coolest dudes that we've talked to.
Happy for you, man.
Yeah, it was lit.
Yeah, McKinney. Maybe you should come on the podcast.
Shout out to Trent. Yep, listen. I mean, that
DM
wouldn't be
him.
the
You
worst
got-
thing.
you fit guy.
Nah, OD. First off, Trent is insanely cool for that. Just hit me out of the blue. It was just like, yo, Drew, come interview with me. It's like, all right, sounds good. But, bro, X was chilling in his Airbnb. It was his bye week, so he was, just macking. The Airbnb he showed us. It was really nice. But he was just so down to earth. Just,
fire.
just,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talking like a normal ass dude. Just like you're a football player, so naturally you have this arrogance, this confidence that you kind of have to be a defensive player. But so normal. I think that's what shocked me the most because you think of the professional athletes, like they just have this huge ego to him. Not McKinney. Not at all, truthfully.
That's dope.
That's cool. Rams versus, or I should say, Jaguars versus Lions. This is the order I was going in.
I'm going to Lions. Not thinking twice about it. This is an easy one.
Yeah, we don't got to think about this. Lions.
It's a 14-point spread. It's fucking insane.
They should have
Rams versus Patriots.
I'm going to take the Rams here. They need a bounce back game. I don't.
Drake May.
Listen, that Rams defense is
Nah,
good.
It is.
And it's going to get to Drake
Hey,
May, and it's
that
going to
Bears
have Drake May
defense.
go out there. Say it again.
Bears defense.
You're cooking. You're kind of cooking. You're very much cooking,
Rams played
truthfully.
like shit last Monday.
But I think this offense needs a bounce back. And I think that happens this week with the Rams, particularly the pass offense. So give me the Rams winning this one.
Give me the Rams.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. Give me the Rams, man. They listen, they in desperation mode. Whatever semblance of playoff hopes they want to capture starts right here against New England. I do think their offense is really so prolific, and as long as all those guys are healthy, you should see an explosion. I know they played a bad game against Miami, but I think they should bounce back. New England's defense has some talent. We expect it to be much better, but they've been so up and down, more down than not this year. I don't trust their defense at all.
It scares me because you got West Coast team traveling to East Coast. You got a dome team traveling to the Northeast in November. Don't know what the weather's looking like. The Rams are coming off a pretty ugly game against the Dolphins, just kind of uncharacteristic stuff, taking bad sacks from Matthew Stafford, turnover, stuff like that. I'm taking the Rams because I think they need it. It's a bad loss on primetime Monday Night Football, but the Patriots could do it. The Patriots, if I had to pick an upset, I'm not going to pick them, so it doesn't really count for anything.
Never thought I'd
love how
see
New England
Joel
plays,
love
man.
New England. Like, he
It hurts
loves
me.
them.
I just think I think people are sleeping on Drake May more than
Notice how
anything.
he called it an upset, but yet
Are
doesn't
people
pick 'em?
sleeping on him? Are they?
He's amazing, dude.
He is. That's why I'm asking.
Like
Are they
Jaden-
sleeping?
Jaden Daniels, when he came out into the scene, he played better than Drake May, especially numbers wise. He was winning. Oh my God, this dude, top 10 quarterback, all this shit. Drake May's not having like maybe the highlight, oh my God plays, but it's just the small things he does in this fucking terrible offense that's the worst offensive line with no weapons and a bad play caller. He's going out there and making shit happen every single week against good defenses, against bad defenses. That's why I think he's underrated comparatively to some other rookies. Not even this year, but in the past.
Your hoodie reminds me of a bear.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I also saw a clip of him motivating his
Allen?
teammates for
Oh,
like
the
8
Seems
minutes.
like a great fucking guy too. That means something to me. Jalen Hurts, he fucking cares. Lamar, he fucking cares.
This is the first
Means
white
something to me.
quarterback that
Yeah,
Joel
that's
likes.
why
So
it was
honestly, it's
moving
moving me a lot.
me.
That's because he kind of plays like
He's
One of
he's
those
one of the
brothers.
best rushers in the league.
Why don't you fuck with Bo Nix then?
Drake May has the most 10+ yard rushing attempts of all quarterbacks.
What?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
yeah, he creates so many things with his legs. Drake May, I love him, man. I really wish that he wasn't on the Patriots.
Nah, so
because
bad, bro.
I like Drake May, and this game has a lot of upset potential because the Patriots defense, it's kind of like a roller coaster. They have some highs and lows. They play a lot of man coverage because they have the corners to play man coverage. The Rams against man coverage, Matthew Stafford has been a bottom 3 quarterback in terms of DVOA against man coverage. So I think that's a matchup that you got to look for. Christian Gonzalez shadowing somebody like Puka Nacua and how that can look like. You tighten up these windows. Matthew Stafford likes to be aggressive. Those could turn into interceptions. So I think that there is a lot of upset potential on this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots do win it, but the Rams are in survival mode. Every game counts. They need to make the playoffs. They need to be in the race. And I think that they'll take care of business after losing to the
Said the
Dolphins.
same thing last week. You would have been right.
I know. And I wish, but the Rams aren't as anemic as the Bears.
It just makes you think.
We're
Like,
here.
what if you trusted your gut here?
Yeah, my gut is telling me the Rams, though.
My gut tells me the Patriots aren't winning back-to-back games.
All right.
Ravens versus Steelers.
Here we go. Game of the week.
Upset alert. I am going with Pittsburgh.
Fucking hates the Ravens.
Can I tell
Do I?
you?
What?
You nasty.
Come on, bro.
Nasty.
Shit, yo, the fart lifted you up. Yeah, I got Pittsburgh in this one. Listen, I don't hate Baltimore. You guys just historically haven't played Pittsburgh. Well, Lamar hasn't really played Pittsburgh
Nice.
well.
Yeah, I know.
I think, but just Pittsburgh being at home, I think you guys are split regardless. And I think this is the one that Pittsburgh takes, So I got Pittsburgh, man. They're just
I can't
upset
take you guys
city.
seriously. I'm sorry.
Upset city, man. Get ready for it. Lube up.
Lube Bob is nuts. I got Baltimore. I take Baltimore every single week.
know,
This is the game I'm most excited for, I think, for both sides, because Pittsburgh has played Lamar as tough as any team in the NFL has played Lamar throughout his career. Pittsburgh's coming off a big win against the Commanders. And I've disrespected Pittsburgh. I think a lot of people have. If you go in, even though you're home, you beat the Baltimore Ravens, now it feels like it's a different discussion we're having with Pittsburgh. Because, Riv, you did say in the last episode you think they can win a playoff game. I still don't think that's like the common theme around the Steelers. I think a lot of people still think, me included, they're gonna make a wild card and maybe they fuck around, win the division, but I don't think they can actually win a playoff game. They beat Baltimore. We're gonna go into the next week's show being like, all right, where's Pittsburgh rank amongst all the contenders in the AFC? With that being said, though, Lamar Jackson is playing at too good of a level to pick against them.
Go ahead, Mr. Moran.
Who are you going with?
I'm asking
you. Don't
you.
want to make your pick?
I always go
Are you
first.
scared?
I'm pushing off to you right now.
Well, the way that you were talking to Riv and winking at him, made me believe that you might be going upset alert with Riv. Last week you did it with the Panthers. Maybe this time you'll be right. And guess what?
I had to beg him to do it.
I'll be right there
with us.
with Dehls picking the Ravens.
Interesting.
Because that's what I'm going with. I think the Steelers have had Lamar Jackson's number. You know, I'll be the first one to admit I have my question marks about the Ravens defense. If the Steelers offense is what we think they are, which is a big play offense, the Ravens allow a lot of explosive plays through the pass game. The Steelers could have a great day offensively, and if that defense shows up to play, then the Ravens are going to be playing from behind, and we know historically, although not be it this year, that's when they've been at their worst. But I trust Derrick Henry. I trust his rushing attack. That's a dimension that the Ravens have never had when they've gone up against the Steelers in the past, and I think you have great pass catchers now with Zay Flowers and Deontay Johnson, who hasn't got it integrated yet. You have Mark Andrews. And I still do believe that the talent on the Ravens team isn't quite living up to the expectation of what I think of them. I don't think this is going to be a terrible, one of the worst defenses in the league. I think they have the talent to be much better than that. And we saw some glimpses of that against Cincinnati, although Joe Burrow had a historic, a monster day. But I'm going with the Ravens here. This is for the division crown to take the lead, and I think the Ravens will understand that they have to take care of business and beat Pittsburgh.
This is by far and away the toughest one for me this week. But there's a part of me that feels that the Steelers are going to win this game.
Where?
It's going to be a tough one. I say that mostly because this Ravens offense is terrifying. If you're an opposing defense, you are terrified to go up against Derrick Henry and especially Lamar Jackson, the way that he has been a passer this year. But I look at the success that the Steelers have had against rush offenses. Right now, 6th in EPA, 12th in success rate, which is a little bit of a difference. However, it is Derrick Henry, and obviously they're going to be, Derrick Henry still cream of the crop, number one, at worst, number two right now. I'm going to take the Steelers to win this game because they are, although not the better team, I guess, because, of course, the Ravens' offense is so much more overpowering. I guess you could argue that they are a little bit more complete because their defense is one of the best in the league. And then offensively, with now what Russ has given you, at least how efficient he's been, especially getting into the end zone. Najee Harris coming to life. He most likely will play in this game. Jalen Warren getting a little bit more opportunity. Their strength of the Ravens is their rush defense, which obviously kind of goes against what the Steelers have been building off of. But I believe George Pickens has one of the better performances of the week, and I think that he is the star of the Steelers' offense in this game. So I'm going to take the Steelers with the upset. This could be one that I'm wrong on, but you know what? The Steelers have been playing some really great football, and that Ravens defense truly is not good, specifically that secondary. And I think Russ can find a way to win this one at home.
Seahawks versus 49ers. I don't think the vibes in Seattle are good. Their center just retired, Connor Williams.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it came out of the blue. Now they're going to start a center that has been a healthy scratch for the entirety of the season pretty much. I think the 49ers are going to win. They have the Seahawks number, and these games always end up being the same. The Seahawks can't run the ball. They're one-dimensional, and that pass rush just tees off and gets to Geno Smith, and he has to play a perfect game for this to even be close. So I got the 49ers winning.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Separate. Geno Smith or Matthew Stafford this week, who would you play?
Playing New
Stafford.
England. Yeah, probably Stafford.
All right. Thank you very much. I've been going through this one back and forth because I have DK Metcalf too.
Would you rather play Joe Burrow against the Chargers or Russ against the Ravens?
Joe Burrow.
I'm also leaning Joe Burrow.
Okay. That being said, we'll be going with the Niners. Didn't have CMC last time. We'll have CMC this week.
They
Is
won last time
questionable. He has the questionable tag. Doesn't matter. I think he's going to be good to go. But so does George Kittle. He also has the questionable tag, but he will also be good to go. When you have this Niners offense clicking, or when they're 100% healthy, of course, no Ayuk, but with the way that Juwan's been playing, now the addition of Ricky Pearsall, he got into the end zone for the first time in his young career. And the defense has been playing at a very high level. It's just a great combination to win a ball game, especially at home. No, it's a division rival. Know that the Seahawks are coming off a bye, and they are a little bit desperate. That's kind of weighing on my decision here, but the Niners need to get back into the winning column on a consistent basis, and I think it starts this weekend.
Yeah, I got the Niners too. You know, I got so much love and respect for Geno Smith. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in this league, but it's this tough matchup, right? This offensive line's been decimated all year.
You appreciate a thing like that?
You could really see how much it impacts the run game too, because I agree with you. I think Kenneth Walker is one of the best 7-8 running backs in football. If he had a decent O-line, he'd probably be top 3, top 5 in rushing yards right now, but they just don't have the opportunity to do so.
This is kind of crazy.
DK Metcalf is back, which is big news. Of course, he's one of the biggest
You don't hear the sarcasm
game breakers in the NFL right now.
I don't hear it one bit. No.
I'll fuck with Seattle for sure, but this is a tough matchup, man. 49ers, that pass rush is going to get after you. It's a really, really bad offensive line, and I agree with Joel. Like, Geno Smith has to be perfect. And what we saw the last time, had a couple of turnovers. I think he'll probably have a couple of turnovers again. Because
I don't know if he's being serious.
I'm being dead ass. Like, because we saw last time, the Seattle Seahawks threw the ball 51 fucking times against the 49ers, right? And I know some of it's like comeback mode and stuff, but like, you're making Geno drop back 51 times. That's not taking into account whatever scrambles he had in that game as well. You're not going to get pressure on him. You're not going to force him into a strip sack, fumble, or an interception with that many dropbacks. It really sucks when you struggle to run the ball this much because it puts so much pressure on them.
I got Niners. Big cock. Brock is playing. CMC is playing. Kittle's playing. Belts to ass.
They're strapped up. No cap.
Yep.
The one thing I'm looking forward to is Abraham Lucas. He's making his return for the Seahawks at right tackle. Going to go up against Nick Bosa.
Is DK going to turn up?
I don't know. I hope so.
Yo,
he
DK
doesn't play
Ricky
well.
Pearsall. Nuts question.
I would play DK.
DK doesn't play well against the Niners.
He doesn't. That's really why. Last 3 games, he's really been shut out.
But maybe this is the
Ricky just
game.
had that long touchdown last week.
He did. But 74 yards.
I know, but how many targets?
6?
Okay,
So
that's
it's
more than I
clean
thought,
sweep Seahawks. Next game, Broncos
49ers.
versus the Falcons.
We're here. Give me Denver. I just don't trust Atlanta's defense. And they're just coming off a loss against the Saints, if I'm not mistaken. That defense is probably one of the worst units in the league. So Denver, we've seen them move against the Chiefs. They should move against Atlanta's defense. And I trust Denver's defense against damn near anybody in the league. So give me Denver in this one. I think they'll take this
What do you
one
think,
home.
Miss Moran?
Well, I think the Falcons are incredibly average. I don't think they're a 6-4 team.
Their offense isn't average, but the team is average.
Yeah. I mean, the offense is good. They are susceptible to some pass rush. I don't think the pass blocking is the best, but the defense sucks. I mean, 32nd in pass rush win rate. The Broncos have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. This should be a game where the Broncos will be able to string together a couple of good offensive drives, and as good as that defense is playing, you don't trust Atlanta in a shootout against a team like Denver. So I'm going with the Broncos.
Clean sweep them, baby.
Yeah, I got Denver in this game. Having Atlanta to go to Denver, Kirk Cousins playing in that altitude against that type of defense, I got Denver. Excited to see what Audric Estime can do as he's taking over kind of the lead back role there. Javonte is basically done at this point. I mean, I'd be shocked if he was on the team next year.
Can we take a minute to say a prayer for Javonte?
Rest in peace, Javonte
Oh,
Williams.
God.
Tough.
Whoa.
What?
You weren't there.
I didn't say anything.
No, I saw that face that you made. Disgusting.
My fault.
He had a career-changing injury.
I'm sorry.
He did.
I'm with you in Denver.
Fucked
We're
up his
here.
whole knee, man. He was so good his rookie season.
Oh
He
my
was so
God,
fucking
I'd
good.
do anything to go back.
Next game,
I'm glad
the
we know
Chiefs
who I'm taking.
versus the Bills.
Every week, I vow to take the Kansas City Chiefs.
Taking KC too. Murray and Keon are both out as well, and Kincaid.
Questionable.
No, Kincaid's gone.
No,
Kincaid's
I'm not
out.
talking about Kincaid.
Coleman, I'm pretty sure is
Coleman. I
out.
thought he was questionable.
Coleman got ruled out early in the week.
It's just
Coop,
Amari.
so it's Coop that's questionable.
What
One of them
was-
are questionable.
I will say, Riv, I get where you're coming from because he was limited in practice, but he was ruled out like on Tuesday.
Who, Keon?
Keon.
Yeah.
Keon is out. Kincaid is out as well.
Is Amari questionable?
Amari is questionable with the wrist.
Okay.
Amari, though, he practiced
Who you
Friday.
It's never in doubt. Listen, man.
Practice.
What we're playing for.
The Bills in the regular season
Amari
against the
said he
Chiefs could
feel
beat
like
them.
he'll play. He said that a day ago, and he practiced Thursday and Friday.
I know the playoffs give this thing where the Chiefs own the Bills, and in the playoffs, correct. But in the regular season, the Bills own the Chiefs. Like, they nonstop push it to the metal. I don't think I think the game is going to be electric, going to be a close ass game. Just give me Buffalo, man. I just 17 weeks in a row, I'm going to pick Buffalo unless they're playing Philly. But I do think they have a little something in the regular season. They play the Chiefs. They just know their game plan so well. So I got Buffalo in this one.
Well, every time the Bills face the Chiefs, it's always a great game. In the regular season, they treat it as their Super Bowl. It's very meaningful for them.
I'm crying.
It's in Buffalo.
Hey.
I think the Bills will win this game. I know Keon Coleman's out, Kincaid is out, but I mean, what has Kincaid done all year long?
Not much.
You know, now Dawson Knox, he now gets more snaps. Is that like really a bad thing?
I think Dawson's going to have a good game.
Yeah, it might
Dawson is
not be
good.
a bad thing. I will say all year long, Josh Allen, in terms of wide receiver separation, he's been amongst one of the lowest quarterbacks. His wide receivers have not helped him out. That's why they went and got Amari Cooper. But if you have Khalil Shakir, you have Amari, you have Dawson Knox and Curtis Samuel, I think that'll be enough to threaten this Chiefs defense. We saw Bo Nix with the Broncos with not great wide receiver weapons be able to have good drives, and especially in the first half, be amazing on third down. The Bills this year, they're 5 offensive linemen starters. They have played almost every snap together this season, 97% of snaps. It is one of the elite offensive lines in the NFL. They pass block extremely well, and I've been saying it every single week. The Chiefs' pass defense right now is a bit vulnerable because they lost Jalen Watson, and he was their other boundary corner alongside Trent McDuffie. And then for the Chiefs' offense, you know, they're able to find some explosiveness here and there. Really, their offense has mostly been Mahomes on third down, being Superman. He's been the best third down quarterback in the NFL. And they have long drives. They go on these 13, 14 mega drives, 70-yard drives to get into the end zone or to even kick some field goals. That's what their offense has been. The explosive play rate in their offense isn't that high. And in this game, I do believe a mismatch is just their tackle situation versus the Bills' edge rushers. You have Von Miller back playing at a high level. You have Gregory Rousseau playing at a high level. I think they will mess up the game a lot.
Back too.
That's going to be huge for them. So I got the Bills winning this game. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be electric like it always is. But I think Buffalo is going to come out and beat the Chiefs, and it's going to be the end of their undefeated streak for now.
We're here.
Going against your boy.
Yeah, last year I picked the Bills against the Chiefs too.
Playoff time, though. You're in that.
Playoff time. You know, it's the Chiefs, but it's not the playoffs.
Quick aside, Jalen Green, it's just not happening for him, man.
What does he have? Carson made a tweet about him saying that he's out on him.
And he made me go and look at what he's doing today.
Shooting.
I'm excited to. Let me not say that.
Are they winning at least?
They're winning by 20.
Okay.
66-49 actually.
5-point game against Cavs.
He's shooting
played us good
29% from the field.
ago.
How many points?
Damn.
4,
What did Şengün have?
What does
12.
Amen have?
but 7 for 8 from free throw. Eamon has 9-5-1-1. He's 4 for 5 from the field. No threes.
So I like these next couple of games. Well, this next game.
Straight breakaway dunks.
Bengals versus Chargers.
Gotta get how you get it.
Sunday Night Football. Burrow versus Herbert. First time.
I'm
prime
excited
time.
for this, man.
You want to talk about desperation mode? It's the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know that the Chargers have been the definition of the more complete team out of these two because Cincinnati Bengals defense simply not good. And I think that the way that this pass offense for the Chargers has been playing recently has been one of the main reasons why they're really moving people, because early on they were really dependent on the rush. Then they started to get figured out a little bit, and then Justin Herbert started to just take they took the training wheels off on the offense, and they were just going full tilt. And we're seeing it translate in their offensive production, particularly from Herbert. Him as a playmaker too last week was unbelievable versus the Titans. I've been a non-believer this year in the Chargers, really because I felt as if they were a year early. I think that next year's the year that they put it all together and we're talking about a legitimate contender. I do firmly believe that. But, you know, they really haven't gone up against great competition, but they've handled business. I'm going to take the Chargers here. I don't feel good about it. I think that the Bengals offense is going to put up points. It'll be the first time that the Chargers defense looks human, because obviously against every opponent this year, they've been superhuman. They've been one of the best rush defense, one of the best pass defenses. But I think that the way that Burrow, especially now with T. Higgins coming back, we just know that this offense just goes to a whole other level. My gut's telling me Chargers. My mind's telling me Chargers. But for whatever reason, I feel like, is Cincy going to lose another one?
I mean, they're 4-6. If they lose this, it's going to be hard to make the playoffs. So you're right. They are desperate.
Oh, Come back to me.
I got the Chargers in this game. I think the defense is for real. I could see why you have some skepticism around it because of the opponents, but I think this is one of the most well-coached, if not the best coached team in the NFL with what you have on all three levels, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, of course, at the head coaching position. This defense, I think, is for real, and I think it's a top 5 unit. And the Bengals have had their time where they go out there and score 30 points. Done against the Ravens. I saw them a few weeks ago against the Eagles when they really turned around their defense. They struggled a lot playing against a really good defense. I think the Chargers are on that type of level. And offensively, Gus Edwards is back and healthy, and he's looking pretty damn decent. Of course, you have J.K. Dobbins there. And Justin Herbert's been playing like a top 5 quarterback, top 3 quarterback for these last 4 or 5 weeks when they've really said, Justin Herbert, let's use you like a franchise quarterback that you are. Let's stop making you throw for under 200 fucking yards every game and giving you like 21 passing attempts. They're actually finally opening up the playbook. Don't know why it took Greg Roman this damn long to do it. But I think the Chargers, like you said, Drew, I think they're the most complete team or the more complete team in this matchup. And the Bengals are going to struggle to move the ball some. And Los Angeles Chargers can be able to do just enough offensively.
The last 4 games, when they've gotten B.J. Hill and Sheldon Rankins back, the Bengals' run defense has been good. We saw them neutralize Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley, for most of that game, kind of got contained, and then the passing attack for the Eagles, those plays down the field really broke the game open for their offense. I think the Bengals, when they actually have serviceable defensive tackles, it's not a complete train wreck defensively. And the defense can be very inconsistent. We saw how they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, they have these moments where they look good, where the offense isn't the one carrying, like on Monday Night Football versus the Giants. Their defense was the big reason why they won that game. And I feel like it could happen here just a little bit because I think the Chargers offensively, J.K. Dobbins is a bit hit or miss. Their offensive line is not as good as people think it is. Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater are really good. And Slater versus Trey Hendrickson is going to be an awesome matchup. And I feel good about the Chargers in that aspect. But their interior offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. And Herbert has a lot of pressure his way, even with these 2 stonewalls at tackle. The reason I'm going with the Chargers is I just think the vibes are different there. I think it's a home game. And I know people like to throw those jokes about the Chargers not having any fans. But I think the energy is changing with Jim Harbaugh. And this is a team. This is not what the Bengals are, which is a 3-man show. This is an actual team that's well coached, and I think Jesse Minter, this is the game that he solidifies himself as a head coaching candidate. He's going to be one of the first coaches off the market, and he's going to go to a new team, and what he does defensively, he's going to throw some things at Burrow that he has not seen this season, and I think that'll be the difference in the game. They don't stack the box at all. They play with some of the lightest boxes in the NFL, and they're an elite run defense. The Bengals don't even have a good rushing offense. So if they can neutralize a run, you have more bodies in coverage, and it's going to make those throwing windows very tight. So I got the Chargers. I just think they're a complete team. I think they are legit, and I think they are one of the best teams in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm going with you guys on this one. I'm going to take the Chargers. I just think defensively they're able to get to the quarterback. Their secondary has been playing really well for them being that young. And I know T. Higgins is supposed to be playing this week, so that's a good sign. But I think Cincinnati is just too one-dimensional. I think the Chargers can run the ball. I think they have been playing at a high level in terms of just Justin Herbert uplifting his receivers and making them look better than what they actually are. And then defensively, they've been pretty good. For Cincinnati, it's either that offense scores every single drive or that they just cannot thug out a win. And it's, Chargers home game. They've been playing real good. The coaching is there. The vibes are there. So give me the Chargers.
And Monday Night Football, Texans versus Cowboys.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Are you taking the Chargers? I was going to say on the wraparound.
Texans versus Cowboys.
Texans.
Houston.
Are the Cowboys the worst team in the NFL?
Yo, it's a great question. That's a great question. Giants.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are worse. With Cooper Rush, they're worse.
That's what I'm saying. With Cooper Rush, I think they're worse. Are they worse than Tennessee?
I don't think they are.
Tennessee's worse?
I think Tennessee's a little bit worse. Yeah.
Giants are not good.
No, they're bad. They're really bad.
This is where
But the Cowboys can't do anything on offense, can't do anything on defense. They have really nothing going. At least,
That's a good point.
Giants with Tyrone Tracy can move the ball a little bit. Like, they have no run game.
Crazy. Panthers are beating worst team in the allegation. Worst team in the league
Panthers are better than
allegations.
the
Good for them.
Cowboys.
Easy.
Okay.
The Panthers play the Cowboys in a couple weeks.
Oh, can't miss.
They'll be at the bottom.
Have you guys
Battle of
seen
the
this
worst teams.
Thanksgiving slate, by the way?
Terrible.
God, it's gross.
Seahawks?
Miami Packers is probably the best game.
Thank God.
Miami Packers is a night game, but it's like Cowboys are on it because Cowboys are always on it. The Lions, I feel like, are playing someone whack. I think maybe like the Bears.
Is Green Bay on it?
Yeah, Dolphins.
Okay.
It's
That's a
the
good
first team he named.
one. Oh,
It
my
was.
fault.
It was indeed.
Tweak. My fault. Chill, y'all. Chill.
NFL Pick'em Week 11 predictions. First game up, Raiders versus Dolphins.
I am going with the Miami Dolphins.
Fin fam, we're back, baby.
Yeah, Miami can still make the playoffs. I got them.
I got the Dolphins. Browns versus Saints.
I am going with the lowly Cleveland Browns.
Come on, baby. Jameis.
Shout out to Jameis.
This is a big Nick Chubb game. First big game off his injury. I got the Browns
That's a
winning.
W.
Colts versus Jets.
I am picking the New York Jets.
Anthony Richardson redemption arc starts this weekend.
Playing the Jets. You're taking the Jets. Keep it pushing.
How the hell can you trust the Jets at this point in time? I've been thinking about this pick all show long, and I just can't believe that the Jets are this favored. But you know what? I'm looking at the records. The Colts are
One game
4-6.
better?
The Jets are 3-7. Do I feel like both these teams are kind of evenly matched? Like, do both of them feel like 4-7 teams?
Both feel worse.
They kind of do. I mean, listen, man, I'm going with an upset. I'm going with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be
Turned his
better
back on
prepared.
his favorite team.
I think Jonathan Taylor is going to have
I'd never
the
pick against
game
Philly.
of his life against the Jets. And I think AR, he will have a bounce back game. We saw this already with Bryce Young when he came back, when he got benched. He won a game. I think the same thing will happen with Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
Vikings versus Titans.
I am easily going with Justin Jefferson.
Let's go.
Yeah, Titans are the worst team in the league. Give me the Vikings.
I got the Vikings. Packers versus Bears.
Give me Jordan Love in Green Bay.
Taking the pack.
Yeah, go Pack, go.
I got the Packers off their bye week. Jaguars versus Lions.
I am 100% taking the Detroit Lions.
Come on. Lions. One
Lions.
Clean sweep Lions. Rams versus Patriots.
Give me Matthew Stafford.
pride. Ramily.
If anyone could do it, it's Drake May. But I think Stafford gets to win.
Upset alert. Listen, Drake
Then
May
do
is,
it.
is balling.
Put your nuts
But you're
on the
talking shit
table.
about this and just
Trying
not
to
taking
take
it.
the
table
Every
and
single
take
week we're
the
talking shit and
pats.
don't take him.
I love the Drake May. I really love Drake May, what he's doing. But the Rams are fighting for their playoff
No
lives.
balls.
I think the Rams will win this game.
Like, are you kidding me?
Ravens versus Steelers.
Give me Russell Wilson.
Upset pick of the week. May be terribly wrong about this. But I'm
Could
going
definitely
with
backfire.
the Steel City.
You're picking against the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
8-1.
I'm not going to do that. Give me Baltimore.
I got the Ravens winning on the road. Falcons versus Broncos.
Come on, baby.
Broncos fucking country.
Let's ride.
Denver.
I don't think the Falcons are as good as their record. I think the Broncos are a much better team than them, and they're going to show it. I got the Broncos winning at home. Seahawks versus 49ers.
Oh, big cock Brock.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Niners.
I'll take Purdy.
Sounds liberal.
The vibes are bad in Seattle.
Seattle
Connor
sucks.
Williams just retired. I got the 49ers winning. Chiefs versus Bills.
Oh, taking Josh Allen every day of the week.
Every week, I vow Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Every year, this is the Bills Super Bowl. Whenever they face the Chiefs, they come ready to play. I got the Bills winning this at home. I think the Bills end the Chiefs' undefeated streak. Bengals versus Chargers Monday night or Sunday Night Football.
I am going with Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Gonna take the Chargers as well.
Yeah, Chargers are the more complete team. I got them.
You can't trust the Bengals. The Chargers, the vibes are up. They're at home. Justin Herbert is just as good as Joe Burrow. I think the Chargers get it done and they win this game in prime time. And Monday Night Football, last game of the slate, Texans versus Cowboys.
Give me CJ Stroud.
Most definitely the Texans.
Texans. And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick It Top Podcast, episode 227.
400.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, this
Episode
brother is-
427. You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.